Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this was likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up, the Bills! It's not house ball! It's not house ball!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Homie, now listen, everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping, they better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping, we on a mission. Got an unstoppable team, continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo.
And a good evening. Welcome to a special late night edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. It is now 9:30 Eastern. Thanks for waiting for us. Had some technical difficulties on our side, but we are ready to go. Better late than never. I am your co-host, Beyond 716, here with always the one and only Whittle 2K. We have a great show lined up tonight. I guess it's kind of fitting. We're a little bit late off the ground, considering the Bills took over a half to even get things going last week in Miami. So we'll talk about the debacle in Miami. We'll get into that with our esteemed guest here and more great topics around our Bills. Whittle, how are you tonight?
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. We got blown out by the Dolphins. We got blown out by a 2-7 team. A 2-7 team that lost their best defensive lineman and to a trade, and they had their best corner or in street clothes. They fired their general manager a few days earlier. I'm embarrassed. Personally, I'm great, but yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's something. I mean, we have seen some abnormal losses for the Bills in around late October, early November, but this one felt a little bit different. Of course, we had the 9-6 debacle under Brian Dable in 2021, if I remember correctly. We had the 12 men on the field with the Broncos. We had the loss to Zach Wilson and the Jets at MetLife with I believe we fell to 6-3 after that game, if I remember correctly. So it has a similar feel in terms of the loss, but the loss felt different this time, for sure. And so, but we do have an esteemed guest with us tonight, as well. You can see we have a 3 box, and we're going to have even more. So we're just getting the party started. Kevin Massari, welcome. And also, we have Jarek here as well. We got a 4 box going tonight for this one, fellas. You guys are in for a treat out there tonight. So how's everyone doing?
Doing all right. Just trying to get by this horrific, I don't even know what you call it, loss, man. I'm just trying to get by it.
Yeah, it's something we're not accustomed to, especially by the point total. I mean, we're not usually used to losing by that many points to the Miami Dolphins, especially in the manner that we did. So where do we begin with this game? I mean, we could start with the offensive side of the ball, defense side of the ball. There are a few things, but where would you guys like to start in terms of really breaking down what went wrong on Sunday in Miami?
I'll go first. So the defense comes out, right? And like you get an interception I like this guy named Cole Bishop who finally turns the corner and turns into like the safety that we've been hoping that he turns into. He's starting to
Hmm.
look like that guy, right? So we get an interception from him off of a horrific throw by Tua. Um,
Hmm.
you have a 4th and 1, one of the best offensive lines in football, one of the most efficient one of the most efficient teams that utilizing the tush push, and a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. 4th and 1 against the Miami Dolphins, 2-17. The first time you have the football, you decide to punt. And I don't understand why you didn't go for it there. The bottom line is that is a really, really talented offense, despite not having Tyreek Hill because of injury. Devin A. Chain, really, really talented running back, fast, great vision. Um, Jalen Waddle is a really good wide receiver as well. You have a very I think he's a very good play caller in Mike McDaniel, and that offense is potent. That offense still can score. I mean, obviously, they put 30 on our head, but I just think when you get the opportunity, when you get a turnover, it's such a big um it's such a big play for momentum, for setting the tone. You really need to impose your will against a team that you've dominated over the years. And that was an opportunity where chose I felt like McDermott chose to basically disrespect uh, the offensive line, and the ability for the offensive line to create displacement and get that yard. And he also disrespected the Miami Dolphins by saying, "We can punt you back the football after we just took it away, and I'm not worried about it because I don't think that you're good enough to harm us with the football after we just took it
Hmm.
away from you." So I think that was a big coaching mistake, and I thought that set the tone for the day.
Yeah, I agree, especially against a team that is 2-7, I believe, going in. And when you have those kind of teams, you got to put the the throttle down right away. You got to take the will out of them, try to get up early. Then then kind of reality sets in. But you gave them life right there, I believe, at that point, to kind of go from there. And I agree. I think that set the tone for the entire half.
Yeah, if you look at it from a perspective of like the team was, I mean, the numbers say to go for it, right? The analytics say that you go for it there. It, they basically just saw, so it's like works against you too, because they just saw a turnover, a pretty ugly throw, and they were just like, I don't know, like I think we have a pretty comfortable game plan, and they did play Achane pretty well for most of the day, minus the last 6 minutes. In my opinion, I thought that he's a dynamic weapon that Mike McDaniel knows how to use inside and out. And they said, look, we're not really that threatened. We don't want to give you any hope by falling on the tush push or something happening, and we're just going to bury you. And I mean, it was wrong. I mean, it was a wrong assumption, and we can get into it, but mostly because of the offense, in my opinion. The defense wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. But like the offense has to move like right then. The defense gives you multiple turnovers. You can't have the things that you had inside and out from that offensive performance. And then, you can really break down play to play if you want, but you can't commit multiple turnovers when you're driving. I mean, it really took 21 points off the board, in my opinion, in what you probably should have been leading at halftime, even potentially. So there's some give and take here, guys, but ultimately the offense failed the team. The game plan was interesting. And Miami saw the tendencies on the analytics and said, we're going to run the most base we've ever ran, and they're going to run base on first down. And the Bills are just like, okay, whatever. And they just kind of didn't get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, you mentioned the offense, and I'm going to, just kind of open this up for everybody here. We've heard a lot of Bills fans on there on Twitter, better or worse. Some of them have gotten pretty crazy, as we've all known over the last few days. But we keep hearing about lack of separation, and we keep hearing about players receivers aren't open. But I want you all to kind of discuss that a little bit, maybe in a little more detail here. Is it mostly that? Is it some of that? Or are we not looking at number 17 a little bit more closely than we should? So I just wanted to kind of open it up, because I thought that was a good point by Kev about the offensive woes on Sunday.
I think both can be true in a sense. I think that obviously, I think with Joe Brady and these passing concepts, or to me, I just don't think are really the best. Like to me, I think are like where the zone beating concepts. We got particular concepts where you have receivers are running underneath and there's nothing over the top that can, even kind of beat the coverage in that particular sense. So I don't think that the passing concepts, I know we all discussed about it before. I don't think the passing concepts are really the best suited for this offense. We all talk about where's the utilization of Elijah Moore, where's the utilization of Curtis Samuel. These are specific players that Joe Brady wanted. Well, more specifically with Curtis Samuel, that's a player that I think Joe Brady wanted because of working with Carolina. And that's a $27 million player that has yet to be utilized within the structure of this offense. And he is healthy right now. So, I think both can be true, but it's Josh, man. Like, and Bills fans, they don't want to hear it. It is what it is. I took a beating on it. I think we all kind of took a beating on it on social media, and it's Josh, man. He's not playing within the structure of this offense. For the most part. Now, again, I got to give a lot of credit to Anthony Weaver because he even came out and said in his press conference that they baited Josh. That was the game plan was to bait Josh, and they really wanted to test his patience. I think to me as a defensive, if you're as a quarterback or offensive coordinator, I think that's one of the most disrespectful things that a coordinator can do is by saying we don't believe that your quarterback can stick to the plan. We think that he's going to fall, that he's going to go off a cliff, and he's going to become something that we think he can be, which is a guy that's not going to take what's going to be given to you more consistently. He's going to want to take some of the shots. We're going to eliminate the intermediate to deep shots by playing quarters coverage. Be running some 2 high looks, some cover 3 particular looks, and we're just going to go out and constrict the field. And you saw the Dolphins do that. They played a lot of dudes underneath, and they just said, you know what, we'll give you the underneath, we'll give you the minimal gains, but is he going to go to that all game? And the answer was no. The fact that Anthony Weaver looked at that, talked about that Falcons game, and said that was a blueprint that we kind of followed off of is just. It's a showing, man. Again, teams are playing more zone coverage than Josh has faced. I think in the last 5 seasons. Kevin, you can correct me on that, but I think in the last 5 seasons he's played more zone coverage than I think he's done before. And next week we play against another team that, even though primarily I don't think that they're a high proficient team in quarters coverage. They are a high cover 3 team. They're a zone team. So that's the league is now starting to catch up, at least on this offense. And I don't even necessarily say that it's because the offense can't work or there's something wrong with the scheme. I would just more say this. You can make an argument. It is just because of your quarterback and Josh Allen. And who knows, right? He's the gunslinger, John Elway, Brett Favre sort of quarterback. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is an offense that was meant to protect him. And if your quarterback, who played pretty well last year, it had some spurts last year, but more so, I think for going into this one, it's too many games now where it's like, bro, you got to take what is given to you, and he's just not willing to do it. He's just willing to press, and I think that if he continues to do that, it's just a recipe of disaster for this offense.
See the question, the highlighted question: why does Allen act extremely disciplined versus KC, but have these games versus Miami that seem extremely hesitant? I was at the KC game, and Allen was taking things underneath. That is, if anybody can answer that question, it's probably worth $1 million at least, because it's so weird. I'm going through the passing plays. After we lose these games, just after games in general, I go back and I watch I watch Josh's throws. I watch, Keon. I watch Shakir. I watch Dawson Knox. Whoever the focus player is that I want to focus in on and say, let me see what this guy was doing doing here. I'll go back. NFL Pro is a great tool for that. I'm going through Josh Allen's passing attempts, and we sat in 3rd and long throughout that game way too often, and we didn't have to. If Josh Allen just takes what is there on 1st and 2nd down, you're looking at 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, and what you can do from a play calling standpoint with that down and distance. It's such a strategic advantage against the defense who really doesn't want to challenge you. Like, they don't want to challenge you talent for talent or player for player. They want to beat you by their scheme. They want you to make mistakes. And honestly, they need you to make mistakes in order to They need you to make mistakes in order for you to get for them to be able to capitalize it and win the game. That's how they bring you down to their level by you making mistakes and you making costly mistakes. This this is just what are we doing? I mean,
Hmm.
please let's put that back up. Like, and I
Yeah.
really don't want to go off. I really don't want to like rant about everyone, like the majority of Bill's Mafia, blaming everyone but the guy that wears 17. Look,
Mm-hmm.
folks, I get it. I get it. Josh is a great player. I've never seen a quarterback jump over a guy like he was a herb. Never seen it until Josh Allen did it. It was a first for
Hmm.
me as well.
Yep.
I've never seen a guy do. I've never seen a guy drop back and decide to take off and run through safeties and throw the football through gusting winds and snow and rain and like I've never seen that before. He's great. But everybody says that they want this guy to play as long as possible and at the highest level as he possibly can. So there's an offense that's been built for him to not have to do things like that, the superhuman things, on a down to down basis. And he doesn't want to not do those things on a down to down basis. He's telling you that by his play. I I can't understand why people will see film and they will see they will see spots where this guy's open based on the coverage. He's open. And the quarterback should know it. If I know it, I'm not a quarterback, I'm a longshoreman.
Hmm.
And before this, I was an accountant. If I know based on the coverage that this is where the ball you should be looking here because you know what the play is, you know what the route concepts are. If I know it, why doesn't the quarterback know it? I know he knows it. Why isn't he doing it? That's not a coaching thing. The coach can just give you the tools on the field. It's up to the players to execute it. It's up to the players to pick those tools up
Yep.
and utilize. He's just not doing it. He's not. And we lost 2 games this year because of that. We could be 8-1 right now.
Yep.
I think that the sloppy ball handling and things like that in the Patriots game, I think that was the difference. Like we turned the ball over to really stupid spots. So that
Yep.
was a tough game. I'm giving that one to okay, fine. We lose to the Patriots. But the Falcons game, there's no way we should have lost that game. No way.
Hmm.
Based on what the film says, there were options for Josh. He just didn't like them and didn't want them.
Hmm.
And it's the same thing for this Miami game. He saw there were options there. He just didn't want them. So it's not the coaches. It's not the coach's fault that Josh is choosing to not take the options available. That's not his fault. Josh is
Yep.
not doing what he needs to do in order for this offense to stay successful. This offense is built to avoid 3rd and long. The only way, if this offense is run the way that it's supposed to be run, the way it's being run, like against Kansas City, or the way it was run over the first 4 games, the only way we get to 3rd and long is by penalties, not by the quarterback. It's got
Hmm.
to be a hold. It's got to be, uh, illegal hands to the face. Something has to happen outside of the realm of the rules in order for us to be sitting in 3rd and long. But Josh is putting us in 3rd and long right now because he refuses to take what's free and underneath. I'm gonna shut up. Kevin give his 2 cents. I got a couple of plays pulled up right now, ready to go to show y'all, so we can stop saying the coaches, the OC, the receivers are not open. They are. They are.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, they are. They're not running down the field 40 yards and catching bombs like Gabe Davis against Pittsburgh, but they are open. They are. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, if you look at the film and I have it, it's cathartic in a way to really know there's a means to an end, right? And that's what you're looking for. You're like, why would this performance come about? Like, what happened? Are we just that bad? Did they have an all-time game plan? And like, they baited you to take the cheese. Like, there's 3 yards, there's 4 yards, there's 5 yards, and nearly every play. They're going to cover 3. The Bills were running double China, so which means double 5-yard ins. there's plenty of open throws to be made. That's why Curtis Samuel was open in the middle of the field on that scramble play. He was been open in that same area, not scramble plays. So ultimately, like, he was getting bored back there. It's Miami. You think you're going to run up the stats, and then now you got to play the 4-yard profit against Miami, 2-7 Miami. That's not fun. Like, I have no interest in doing that. And Josh literally proved it. Like, he had no interest in that. Still made a few plays here and there, but even himself is doing too much with 4 guys on his back and fumbling the ball in weird weather. Ultimately, you have to be a little bit better than that. And like, the film will show it. Like, I don't even like the red zone interception. Like, we can call Knox a lazy route runner. In man coverage, the one time they ran man, or a few times they ran man, that shouldn't get in your way. It wasn't like there was a bracket. It wasn't like you were confused. It was a one-on-one with Dawson Knox, and you didn't get anything on the throw. You knew where Shavers is going. You know the route combination. So even if he can't get there in time, maybe it goes through the back of the end zone, no harm, no foul, whatever. They can make their decision from there. But ultimately, you can't short arm it. You can't. I mean, you know where that ball needs to go. It's disappointing to see some of the film study as you break it down, that it is really boring. I'm going to admit it. Like, there's times where it's really boring. And you're like, well, 4 yards there, 4 yards there, 4 yards there, 4 yards there. And think of it in the quarterback's realm of it being boring. But you guys said it. He did it against the Chiefs. He loves doing it. Career high completion percentage. At home, he seems to do it a lot more. But here's the kicker, guys. 6 turnovers in 2 games against the AFC East. That's super rare. I didn't anticipate seeing that. I don't anticipate seeing it in the future. Bills need to get right, but there's plenty of things on film that if you're going to go base too on first down, the Bills are going to torch you, and I hope they make that change. If Tampa Bay wants to come and stop the run, which they can do at a high clip, you're going to get torched with your base defense if the Bills scheme it up properly. They need to be careful because their success rate in pass defense is not good. It hasn't been good lately. Reddick's out. They have some offensive players missing. If they try to copy that game plan now that it's officially on film, I think they're going to get torched this weekend.
I look at this. I look at this game, and I think to myself, WWJD, and this is gonna be so nasty. This is gonna be so nasty. But my homeboy J Ham is gonna love this. WWJD, what would Jalen do? Okay, what would Jalen Hurts do? Right? Jalen Hurts has a number 1 receiver in AJ Brown that they stole from Tennessee. I mean, they literally stole him for like a 5th round pick. He is complaining about his production, and you don't hear Jalen make a sound. You know what Jalen does instead? He takes the underneath check down. He hands the ball off to Saquon. He will look, tuck, take off, throw a bomb to Smitty when he's got one-on-one because they're in single high, and it makes sense to do it. And I don't know, he could be going home and breaking every piece of furniture in his man cave, and I would never know because the same look that Jalen has when he walks into the building is the same look you see on the sideline. It's the same one you see when he's looking at the tablet, and it's the same one when he's in the pocket, avoiding traffic, et cetera, et cetera. That won the Super Bowl. When they needed Jalen Hurts to go crazy, he did. He outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl. They blew the Chiefs away. Does Jalen Hurts have a lot of help? Absolutely. Would Josh Allen would all of that talent make it so much easier for the Bills and Josh Allen and the rest and everyone for us to get a parade? Of course it would. We don't have that. We don't got that right now. It is what it is. So work with what you have. And Jalen has done that. When he didn't have the guys, you know what Jalen did? He put the team on his back and he ran, he threw, and they didn't win a ton of games. They got blown out of the water by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card. It was an ugly game. But he did what the team required of him. They required him to carry. He couldn't carry against them. That's fine. Because when they required him to carry in the second half against the Rams, he did it. When they required him to carry against the Chiefs, he did it. And he didn't do it by just throwing bombs. He did what was smart. You're stacking the box with 7 guys. Cool. I know I got one-on-one on the outside. I'm just going to give my guy a chance. And my guy's good enough to go get it. Maybe we don't have the guys that are good enough to go get it, but we do have options. They're in the film. And he's not taking the options. And I hate to compare it. I hate to make that comparison with Jalen Hurts because I think Josh Allen is so much better than Jalen Hurts. Like, it's not close. It's not close. Josh is better. He's a better runner. He's a better thrower of the football. He can do more on the football field. He's a better player in every way, except for on the ring finger. That's it. Is Josh willing to do what he needs to do to get? Is he willing to sacrifice what he wants to do for what's the best option for the team right now? You're down Jordan Palmer. Your man beater is Kincaid. And for whatever reason, Shakir became allergic to downfield routes or, deep plays down the seam when Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator. Apparently, that's off the table for him. So this is what we have to work with right now. Work with it, dog. Please work with it because this is frustrating. We're losing the teams that we should stomp mud holes into. We should have beat Atlanta by 20 points. We should have blew Miami out because we moved the football down the field twice and fumbled in the red zone and gave up the football and threw an interception in the red zone. Went for it on 4th down and didn't get it.
And Whittle, you've seen him tight, like literally, like I know we talk about 13 seconds as the mecca, and it goes back on McDermott all the time, but what happened for 2.5 quarters of that game? Like he even in that game he was tight. In this year's game he was tight. In the AFC Championship game in 2020 he was tight. One of the best. Some people say that was one of his best years. Pick the year that you think that he was the best. Some people say last year. Some people say 2020. He was tight in all of those games when push came to shove against whether it was the Chiefs or Bengals. The Bengals obviously Snow, Dorsey, a couple other factors there, but still, like I still would have preferred a little bit better of a performance. And he's starting slow in these playoff games, although he's ending with good numbers. He's not turning the ball over, no red zone it. But grandiose statements like he's not getting it done at times. I mean, it's true. Like ultimately, it's moments with Josh Allen. And Miami 2-7 on the road isn't a moment like that anybody's going to be like really caring about, other than to bash the coach or to bash somebody, the receivers. Like there's a lot of that going on here, but ultimately like moments, and that's what Jalen Hurts is actually pretty good at. Like he's actually pretty good at those moments, and Mahomes the best ever at it, in my opinion. So that's where that's why he never won an MVP till last year. He had some of those moments against it was San Fran and it was Detroit, and those were great. But like ultimately, like and even the Rams in the loss, he's tight at times, and we've seen that in these slow starts in the playoffs to ramping up against some of these better teams. And he just got bored. Like the film shows it. Like he just got bored in this game. I don't think that happens much. You see it occasionally. It's not like he was terribly mechanically off. He just got a little bored and took, different options that he shouldn't have, and was missing throws and was just not taking the 4-yard cheddar against Anthony Weaver when he thought like they had a game plan and they had to deviate from it. And they thought they were big play hunting in this, guys. It's almost like they were listening to something, because they were going to come out and show you what they could do after beating the Chiefs. And instead, Weaver was like, nah, you're going to have to 4-yard us to death. Like, you're really going to have to do it. And Josh was like, I'm good on that. I'm gonna try something different. And by the time that happened, mixed with the turnovers, game started to get away from him.
I got killed I got attacked on Twitter for making a statement that Bills fans aren't happy with the win unless it's pretty. Like if the win isn't pretty enough, they're gonna complain. And and I'm looking at some of the comments. I'm not gonna put them on the screen, but like I'm not sure. I'm not sure what people want. Well, I am sure what people want to hear. And if you just want to hear what makes you feel good, and if you just want to hear constant bashing about the coach and the receiving core. And if you want to hear that Josh Allen doesn't do anything wrong, and every time he farts, there's a whiff of potpourri in the air. This is not the pod. It's not. I'm sorry.
No,
And the
no.
people and the pot and the content creators who are getting on their pods. If you guys want to not be on the screen for this, so you don't get attacked, that's fine. Whittle 2K is saying this. There are podcasters for the Buffalo Bills that specialize that primarily do Bills content that have watched the film and will still come back and say it's the receivers. Now, when the guys from WGR say, "Oh well, we need receivers. We need receivers. The ball's not getting downfield. They took the deep ball out of the offense." I get it. They don't watch film. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the teams are playing us with two high safeties, even when we're at 13 personnel. We can have 3 tight ends on the field and a running back, and they still have their safeties sitting 15 yards off the line of scrimmage. You know why? Because the Bills generate more explosive plays out of 13 personnel than any other team in the NFL this year. That's why they're doing it. So if you go get a specialized fast wide receiver, what do you think they're going to do? If they're playing us to take away the big plays with tight ends on the field, go get Sonic the Hedgehog and put him in a uniform. They're just going to sit the safeties deep, and they're going to take that away. So it doesn't make sense. You guys are lying to the public. Stop. Because they're listening to it and they're believing it because it's easier than looking at the film and saying the quarterback that we've been waiting for since Jim Kelly left, the one that we actually believe can get us to a Super Bowl and he's good enough to win it, is not playing well. And he's causing the other players on the field who are doing their 111th to not look as good. And he's escaping judgment because we love him. We love him, and we've been waiting for him.
And Kevin and you'll all agree if you know your Buffalo history, right? I do believe there is a sense from anybody in Buffalo that covers sports, right? We've seen. I know a lot of you don't like hockey, right? But the Sabres have had guys demand trades and leave town. Some of the greats, Hasek, Jack Eichel. We've seen this in this town, Whittle, right? Where and I think sometimes some content creators and some of the media, they're so afraid that, if we criticize Josh too much, he's going to demand the trade. He's going to, he's married to someone in Hollywood. He's going to want to go to the Rams and play with Sean McVay. Like, we can't judge him. You don't see this kind of behavior in New York. You don't see this kind of behavior in Los Angeles because they don't have those type of fears deep down. And I don't think we should have that. Josh has said many times he wants to retire in Buffalo. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He loves being in Buffalo, but yet, and maybe I'm overreaching here. No, I agree. I just think there's this faction of Buffalo fans. They're so afraid of what's happened in the past, or they've seen other players in smaller markets, say I demand out for various reasons, and subconsciously they think, we can't criticize 17 because we're going to make him upset. No, he knows he's the franchise quarterback. He knows this comes with the territory. This comes with that $55 million check he's getting and more going forward. This is what he's paid to do. He's paid up there to take those shots. He's paid up there to stand up for his teammates. These are the things that he's got to do. So I think there's that. And then, the whole thing about fans not being where it's pretty. We're in an age of social media. We see great plays over and over and over and over again. And I think fans expect that all the time. But in reality, like Kevin and you guys have all said, Jared, you've all said it. 4-yard plays, 6-yard plays, they add up. That's the majority of football. That's winning football. Those are winning tactics. That's how you win in sports. You have to take what is there. That's what adds up over time. Ask Tom Brady. Look at Tom Brady's career totals in the playoffs, guys. Go look at his game logs. You're not going to see 400-yard games left and right. You're going to see 188 yards here and there. You're going to see 150. Every game is not 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and cooking. That's just not reality. So, and Josh Allen has to learn that lesson that, hey, this game wasn't there. Take what's there. Just get out of there with a W. It doesn't matter how ugly it is. Rant over.
It's fair. And I think, like, to Whittle's point, like, I would call in that whatever show your favorite WGR show is and ask them what Double China is. I don't think they know. So ultimately, like, you can come from the commentary, and there's plenty of good content creators out there. You can go for commentary, you can go for good banter, funny takes, all that kind of stuff, and that's fair. I mean, that's everyone can consume sports however they want. You can be 10 out of 10 on the positive scale, which can annoy people. You can be 0 out of 10 on the positive scale, which can annoy more people. And ultimately, you can consume however, you can fan however you want. But at the end of the day, if the film tells you a story and you're unwilling to listen or watch it, I don't know what to say. You can get mad. You can get mad at me. You can get mad at other content creators. You get mad at Whittle. Like, ultimately, the film doesn't lie. And it didn't lie in the film room this week on Monday. And when Josh Allen's up there blaming himself, he's not doing that for PR. I truly think that, like, there's times where he actually means it. Like, he's not just not throwing his players under the bus, and they don't have a receiver one. My final point here on this whole discussion, as we get into it further and maybe down the road too in the offseason, we talk about some draft choices and we're going to build the defense or what we're going to do. But, like, one of the main points here is he's going to be making $60 million on the cap. He doesn't get a receiver 1 and a receiver 2 and the best receiver 3 and the best receiver 4. Like, you turn into the Bengals really, then fire everybody, give him his receiver 1, totally overhaul the offensive line because you wouldn't resign anybody, and let's see how this plays out. I'm not averse to going finding the hottest young offensive coordinator candidate that everybody wants and pairing them up and seeing what happens. That's, like, if that's what you think gets him over the hump, you're allowed to think that. But ultimately, change the GM. You're redoing contracts. You're taking dead cap hits. You're really banking on a lot for being better than it is now. That's what I'm gonna warn everybody with. Whether you love McDermott, you hate him, you're in the middle, and you hate Bean or you love Bean. Bean's draft value ranking. I'm gonna release an entire draft value ranking of Brandon Bean at the end of the season. He's generally top 4. Draft picks hit 27% of the time. So if we're not comparing him to peers, it isn't fair. So ultimately, like, yes, Howie Roseman's aggressive and he makes good choices. He's missed too. And you can go down the list. Like, he should have Justin Jefferson. He should have Justin Jefferson on his roster.
Jalen Reagor. Yep.
So we've all missed. All the great GMs do it. McVay's missed. He didn't have picks for years, and they're still good. But ultimately, guys, and this is where I'll land, he's going to be making a ton of money against the cap. He's supposed to elevate the Khalil Shakirs and the Keon Colemans and the Elijah Moores. And he hasn't overly been doing that the last 2 years. We've been trying to select guys reasonable contracts. And I really think it stinks because, like, what's going to happen is we're probably going to be playing better, and it's probably going to be under the backs of, like, Gabe Davis. We're all going to laugh. It's going to be under the backs of, like, Gabe Davis and Mecole Hardman and players that, like, ultimately we didn't need to spend a ton of money on. But Josh Palmer, I think, was just getting in the action. He had 60-plus yards in the first quarter of the game against Atlanta. He is your man beater. He's still good, and he struggles a little bit in zone just because he's a little tactical of a route runner, and he doesn't always sit in the right spot. But he's still a great route runner, can torch man, and I think he gives you a different dynamic of a player. And that sucks. You lost him, and then you had lost Kincaid. You just didn't have fresh weapons, and you're mixing and matching. But I think this is the day you see the Bills' best receiving core coming up here. And I think the best is coming up. But Josh has got to take that easy cheese. He's got to take it. And if he doesn't, you get into games like this, and then you throw in the turnovers, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And Kevin, that, like, I'm glad you brought that up because we watched, like, what Bills fans say they want. You don't really want that. You want us to go weapon for weapon with everybody, and that's not really what you want because we tried it already and we lost. And everybody else who tries to go weapon for weapon with Kansas City and the AFC has lost to them. Every single team. And somebody put a comment in here earlier. I'm gonna scroll up and grab it and post it because I really want to quickly dive into this. Reno's legacy. You are on fire today. I honestly think a lot of it is the resentment towards McDermott because of 13 seconds. It was an epic collapse, and a lot of fans don't want to forgive McDermott for that. That's what it is. Okay, you can't get past that. Bills fans, you can't get past this. You can't get past 13 seconds. But let me be honest with you guys. Let me tell you, and I'm like, let me tell you the truth. And this is not. I mean, I don't know how many other Bills podcasters will tell you or what. I don't care. But I'm not even sure on the analytics. But I'm sure Kevin, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong. Even if we beat the Chiefs in that game, we're gonna get smoked by the Bengals the following week.
That same team beat you the next year. So
we're gonna lose to the Bengals the following week. There
No
was no
guarantee we beat
answer
them.
on that offensive line. We remember 2022 when Roger Saffold, who was better than John Feliciano, who was playing in that same exact spot in 2021. John Feliciano, who looked like he was on roller skates whenever he was one-on-one with Chris Jones. Because Chris Jones escorted him all over the field wherever he wanted. We were going to lose to the Bengals the following week because we didn't have an answer for Trey Hendricks. We didn't have an answer for younger and better Sam Hubbard. We didn't have an answer for DJ Reader in the middle at all. We had no answer for those guys. Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson were as instinctive of linebackers as Matt Milano, and they were almost the size of Tremaine Edmonds. You're talking about a couple of guys who are 6'2", 6'3", 240, 240, 245 easily. Both very good in coverage, very good in zone coverage, smart, effective tacklers against the run. And Jermaine Pratt at that time was like Jordan Poyer at linebacker when it came to finding the football and forcing mistakes. We were losing. Jesse Bates is one of the best safeties in the NFL. He was younger then and had a better defensive coordinator than he has now. We were losing that game if we played them. They had a defense that year that was holding teams to 16 points a game in the playoffs. 16. They played the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
They held them to, I think, 3 points in the second half and overtime.
Mm-hmm.
you're also talking about that same team.
Hill, Travis Kelce. That was a Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce Chiefs team.
The reason they were in soft coverage was because Tyreek Hill had just burned every single player on the field. So, like, they overcompensated, obviously, and have bad corners, like, no doubt about it. Like, also, we all know this because I've talked to special teamers on the Bills who said that the play call coming in was a squib kick. Like, Rand Neal was playing a squib, and he was playing for time to be ran off the clock. Tyler Bass, for some reason, we still don't know, did not get the call from McDermott. So we don't know what happened with the special teams coordinator and lost his job. It's still on him as the head coach, 100%. But ultimately, like, the analytics and the decision were right. And ultimately, the rest of the special teams got the message, though. It could have been a Tyler. Like, they stayed committed to Tyler Bass, and I've been a Tyler Bass fan because I think he's got a booming leg through this Buffalo wind. But ultimately, like, even fast forward to this year, and they could take him off the IR right now if they wanted to. And they're still messing around with Prater a little bit. So, like, he's missed a kick years later. Like, there's just as much to be said for how good he's been and then how poor he's been in clutch moments too. But guys, like, they were in a softer coverage because, like, they really thought that Mahomes could get him deep and they could get him into even better field goal range / maybe even win the game then and there because they just did it to Jordan Poyer literally 1 minute and 30 seconds ago. So that is one of the better offenses ever. That is one of the best quarterbacks to play this sport and in crunch and big moments. And then you're going against another team in the Bengals the next week who had extremely luck on their side between winning off walk-off field goals and turnovers and special teams plays. That was on their side, and it's actually how they made it to the Super Bowl. So, like, ultimately, if you rein it in a little bit, that team was 7-6. It was in worse shape than this team is this year. That same team, that same thing that we think that could have beaten the Chiefs and the Bengals, and then maybe even continued on. I don't know if they would be Von Miller.
Somehow, Kevin, the offensive line that couldn't block Frank Clark and Chris Jones was going to block Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and I don't whoever else they had over there. That was like Even if we got to the Super Bowl, we were losing to the Rams. We were going to lose because that defensive line would have been all over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think Josh is running for his life now? Josh would have been running for his life against that Rams team. Aaron Donald in the middle? What?
At the end of the day, guys, it just like we all know what this is, man. Because McDermott, it would have been the same conversation with McDermott if we would have beat Kansas City and won that 13 seconds game. Because I agree, we would have got smoked. We would have got smoked against Cincinnati. Not to mention that's because the following week after that Kansas City game, if we would have played on that Sunday, it was a blizzard game. So that would have been another snow game that we know what happening
a year later.
Cincinnati. A year later against Cincinnati, we lost that game 10-24. I mean 10-27. So the same conversation would have been had. McDermott, it would have been fire McDermott things. It would have been what are we getting? Jim Fisher comparisons. Jim Fisher, Marvin Lewis, Marty Schottenheimer, NBA terms, Mark Jackson comparisons in terms of this regime is really good in terms of building the organization, but at the end of the day, can't really finish home. But it is what it is. That's why for me, guys, it's like no matter what McDermott and Brandon Beane does at this point, unless they don't deliver a Super Bowl, it's always going to be scrutiny and criticism. It's never, well, do we take injuries to concern? Do we take into play, players not executing into concern? Do we take into factor, okay, the Bills have tried to switch things up in order to make this team a lot better. Doesn't matter how improved our efficiency is. It doesn't matter how improved our defensive rating and every advanced metric that points to the direction that McDermott and Brandon Beane are a top 10 head coaching and general manager GM duo. Even still, the fact that we're struggling right now, every metric will point towards Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane being a top 5, top 10 head coaching GM duo. But people, for some reason, believe that there is something way better, and maybe there could be, maybe it could be, but I would just ask everyone who wants to have the Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane firings, which by the way, for me, after 13 seconds, I was one of those fans that just said that McDermott and Brandon Beane should go. I was pissed off that we lost that game. Even 22 when we lost that game, I was kind of done. But even though for the most part, guys, we know it's never going to happen. And I guess we'll talk about that later. But it's never going to happen. But yet people will still try to find a way to do it because at the end of the day, a lot of these Bills fans have turned into Josh Allen fans. And if Josh Allen isn't putting up the pretty numbers, pretty stats, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and criticize Sean McDermott. This is why for me, when we have these content creators and pods, that what do they always start with when it comes to the criticism of the Buffalo Bills? Why doesn't Josh Allen have a number one guy? It's always Josh. It's never the Bills first. It's never certain positions.
We're wasting Josh Allen, right? The Bills.
Like it's fantasy numbers. It's we want to be like the Cincinnati Bengals. We want to be like all these other teams. But at the end of the day, it's like this is an offense that was specifically built for Josh not to turn over the football, not to get sacked. All the years, because I remember.
Not to take punishment.
Not to take hits.
Bloody elbows against Cincinnati. And what did everybody say? We're not protecting Josh. Josh's career is going to get cut short. So they go out and they build an offensive line and a run game. People cried about not having a running back to take some of the punishment away. Why do we always have to run Josh in the red zone? We need a running back. Okay, they go get a running back. They go get an offensive line, and now it's still crying.
I remember the time where I remember the time. I remember the time when people wanted Brian Dable fired in 2021, 2020.
Yes.
I remember it was hashtag fire Dable because we didn't football enough. We kept putting all the pressure onto Josh Allen's shoulders when he was throwing the football a bunch of times and had a bunch of turnovers. Now, all of a sudden, we want to try to go back to that and add more with additional weapons when we already had those weapons that's been proven before. Bills fans don't know what they want except for Josh Allen to have pretty numbers and have the Super Bowl success with it. They just don't know what they want. Now, the one thing we all can agree with is that this defense needs to be improved. That is correct. We did that this year with the offseason where we spent all that draft capital rebuilding the defense. We rebuilt the defense. We started to change the identity of the defense into something that we haven't seen since 2017 with Lorenzo Alexander and 2015 with Sean McDermott when he was coaching with the Carolina Panthers. But now that we're going in that direction, Bills fans still go out there and complain because Josh Allen doesn't have any weapons. You got to make up your minds. Do you want to try to have an improved defense, or do you want Josh Allen to put up the pretty numbers? We already seen one side of it, and you complained. Now we're about to build the other side of things, and it may take a year or two for that to happen, and we're still complaining about it. We just don't know what we want. We want Josh Allen to have the stats, just with hopefully aspirations.
Yeah,
You know what's
I don't
wild?
believe that last comment at all. Like I'm sorry.
Pretty.
I'm
You
sorry.
don't.
I'm sorry. And you don't have to put it back up there. They want pretty wins. You want
Yeah.
pretty stat filled wins and that's what Bills fans want. They want Josh to throw the ball 40 yards to a guy streaking down the field. And the people who are complaining about this stuff, respectfully, don't watch the film after the games, have no idea what the
Hmm.
defense is running. And if if it's double coverage and he throws the ball down there and it gets picked off, they'll say that's just Josh being aggressive, or wow, the receiver's got to be able to make a play, or why would the offensive coordinator call a shot like that when the defense is double teaming wide receivers. It's never Josh's fault. He can do
Hmm.
no wrong in the eyes of some of you guys. And I'm sorry, you're just wrong. You just
No.
are. And we have and there's the film to back it up. And if you don't believe the film, then that's fine. You don't have to. But
No.
you know,
That's why.
you're only
Listen.
lying to yourself.
This is why I love doing the pod with you, Whittle, for so long now, and having great guests on here, like Jarek and Kevin, because we're going to tell it like it is. It's funny. One of my best friends, Whittle, you were mentioning Jalen Hurts before. He's an Eagle fan, right? And we were talking, and I said, it's kind of funny how there are a lot of Eagle fans that cannot stand that Jalen Hurts doesn't get the credit that a Josh Allen does, which he even will say he knows Josh Allen's a better quarterback, with talent and everything. It's funny how we would love their team, like their supporting cast, right? But yet they want to have Hurts. Like, no, what I'm trying to get at is nobody seems to be satisfied. Like, even Eagle fans want Hurts to be in that top. Like, when they get these lists about how he's not in the top 10 and they fly off the handle, but yet they got the Super Bowl. Like, I would love to have their franchise. Are you kidding me? With their roster and the way that they play football, and okay, maybe like you said, Hurts puts up the numbers when he has to. That's the biggest thing, and that's what I want to see a little bit more. I like what you said. What would Jalen do? I think we need a little bit of that from Josh. If we can get that from Josh Allen, if we could get someone that Hurts mindset, we could win it all very, very soon. Even this year, we still have that opportunity. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, the AFC is still wide open, folks. It's not.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. Like, this AFC is not wide open. This should be the Bills and the Colts. It should be the
Yes.
Bills and the Colts, and those should be the two teams that really
Hmm.
stamp that, like, really push to win the Super Bowl, because
Yeah.
those are the teams that are the most. Those two teams are the
Hmm.
most balanced. Both teams can throw the football. The Bills are
Hmm.
14 in passing. They might be a little down now because of last week. I didn't check recently, but
Hmm.
right before
Oh, we did get a lot of
this
garbage
past
yards in that
Sunday,
game,
we were
so we'll
ranked
have to check.
14, and we're
Yeah.
number one in rushing. So, like, I know the Colts are one of the most balanced offenses as well. Jonathan Taylor's going crazy. Their defense is playing well. Lou Anarumo, former Cincinnati defensive coordinator, is over there, and he's dialing it up for them like he did for the Bengals. And the Bills defensively, when healthy, are extremely good. And when the offense drives the field, puts teams in position, puts the team in position to get points on almost
Hmm.
every drive, that puts a different pressure on the other team, which allows the defense to play more aggressive because the other team has to chase points. That is how this team works. I've watched every single. I mean, we're Bills fans, so we watch when we play. We watch it when Buffalo plays the Chiefs. And what year that we beat the Chiefs in the regular season did you feel like the Bills dominated? The only year that I feel like the Bills dominated them and like it was a convincing win was in 2021 after the AFC Championship game that we lost to them. They came back. We beat them like 38-20, but they turned the ball over a bunch.
Hmm.
What did he turn the ball over once against us? The other, not obviously not last Sunday, the Sunday before.
Hmm.
I think he had like one
Yes.
turnover,
One.
but
Yes.
the coverage was excellent. The pass rush was excellent. The linebackers were flowing. They were filling gaps. The Chiefs don't really run the ball anyway, but at the end of the day, that is what, like, we physically beat the Chiefs up. I've never seen that from this team. We physically pushed the Chiefs around, and I've never seen that. We've always been a finesse team trying to beat the kid. We're trying to outstyle the style guys because that's who they are,
Mm,
with high flying receivers and speed and Travis Kelsey and the Swifties. That's the style team. And we always tried to outstyle them. No, like this time we just threw some hoodies on and Tim's and got busy. And that's what it takes. When you can do that to any team in your conference, when you can do that to any team in the league, where if you I don't care that you have 7 in the box, I'm still handing the ball off, and one of these tight ends are gonna pull your linebackers out of the play. He's gonna knock one of your linebackers out of the play, and James Cook's gonna make somebody look silly. And the next thing you're gonna see is James Cook flipping in the end zone, and you're gonna hear, "Hey, hey!" You're gonna hear
mm,
that. So I like what we have now is what we have, and this is what like this is the way for the Star Trek fans out there. This is the way. Run
mhm.
the football. Teams are still gonna put 2 safeties. Who put this up? Somebody, I don't know who this. X.
Yeah. Welcome,
Safeties are
X.
playing 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's a problem. No, yeah, it is a problem if you want to be a high flying offense that throws the ball all over your yard. They're 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. You know what that means? There are 2 guys outside of the box. You know what that else? You know what else that means? There are 2 cornerbacks on the field. Okay, there are 2 other small guys not in the box. So the max they're putting there is 7. If we're in 13 personnel, you know what that means? It's 8 blockers for 1 running back. And the plus one's always Josh Allen. 5 offensive linemen, 3 tight ends. You have the running back, and the plus one is Josh, just in case we really want to get freaky and say, I'm going to fake the football to James Cook or Ty Johnson, and then Josh carry the football behind the convoy because we need to pick up 2 or 3 yards. Like, we always have that plus one. So if the teams that we're playing against are going to play safeties 20, 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, run the ball. Because what happens is you get tired of giving up 8 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards, 15 yards, 27 yards. You get tired of it. And they're
Mhm,
going to say, if we keep allowing them to run the football down this field and they keep scoring touchdowns and field goals, and we punt 2 or 3 times, we're down 14 or more, and we have to throw the football. Teams don't want that. So they're going to commit to stopping that. And if Josh would just take the underneath and hand the football off, the downfield shots will be available because teams will overcommit, and you get a nosy safety from time to time that is watching the ball carrier and not watching his assignment, that deep assignment. And you may sneak one back there, but you may get that big dog play that you want so bad. And it looks great. And we had it against Atlanta.
mhm,
And Palmer was underthrown, which is why he didn't score. That's the way that we get this done.
mhm. Yep. And despite the problems, despite the issues we've had, I guess I'll loop both of you in here. I mean, as far as the injuries go in this team, I mean, we're gonna get into that too a little bit on our injury report. And shall we go through this now? Little, would you like to do this now, or go through our injury
Yeah, because
report for the
I
week?
know I know people are tired of hearing me rant. And I don't care who's
No,
clipping
I'm
it.
not.
It's just recorded, it's live.
No,
You can go to YouTube and get it.
this is.
Don't even waste your
I mean,
don't waste your battery. Don't waste your storage. Just go to
listen.
YouTube and clip it. It's fine.
Just like Dog said, you're on a heater tonight, Little. You are absolutely on a heater. We love it. So
And I'm not
we're
on a
we're here
heater,
for
man.
it.
This is just the truth.
A good
This
heater.
is just the truth.
Yes.
Listen, I get
Hmm.
off. I go to games. I'm a fan, just like the rest of you guys. I'm
Yeah.
emotional too. After the
Hmm.
game is over, like we lose, everybody sucks. Somebody needs to get
Yeah.
fired because we lost. I'm like that.
Guilty as
That's why I
charged.
try not
Yep.
to tweet during games because I
Yeah.
don't want to tweet something that I got to go back and and then recant or put out a disclaimer for. But every
Hmm.
time I do tweet, this sucks. The receiver's not getting open. This dude, blah, 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 whatever. I go back and I watch the film, guys, and I look at the
Hmm.
film and I say, well, yeah, safety's 20 yards off the line. Can't throw the deep shot there. Like, this doesn't make sense. Look, up there's underneath route. Coleman's there for 4 yards. I mean, he takes
Hmm.
that. Instead of 3rd and 10, we're in 3rd and 6. We can really go into center, play action, catch a tight end on the linebacker. We're good to go. Josh can run for it. Guys got to stay home. They can't afford to give up a big play or for 6 yard first down. Bro, it's there. It's there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. We'll
I
get into
love
the
it.
injury
Are you kidding?
report. We'll get into
No,
the other
that's
things that
okay.
we got going on. We'll get to that. I apologize, but it's frustrating. It's
Yeah.
frustrating because I don't like when my team loses. It's frustrating when they spend all offseason saying this offense is built to win a Super Bowl. This offense is built to beat anybody. And then I look at the film and I see, wow, every one of these games, the offense is built to beat this team. Like there's reads available, there are things available for us to do offensively to beat this team, and then we don't do it.
Hmm.
And then I got to get on Twitter and try to explain, hey guys, look, or Facebook message or my Facebook group, my Facebook Messenger group. I love y'all, but dog, y'all be making my hair hurt sometimes, yo. Like y'all really do, because I be trying to tell y'all the truth, and y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all want Justin Jefferson, and y'all want Jamar Chase. We're not getting them because we got a great offensive line that keeps Josh Allen healthy. So you can't have everything, guys. I'm sorry. If you want a great offensive line and you want Josh Allen to be preserved and have James Cook, we can have all of that. You're not getting, you're not also going to get a $40 million receiver. On top of that, the cap is real. It is real. I'm sorry. The answers are in the film. The problem with this offense right now is Josh Allen doesn't want to take what's available. When he does, the offense moves, we score points, we don't turn the ball over.
I always ask
Hmm.
people, all the time, man, is we talk about this coaching staff and this front office wasting Josh Allen's prime. Well, how about Josh Allen is wasting Josh Allen's own prime?
Hmm. That's.
He's still a
I
great
have never heard
player,
anybody say it that way, but that is something
Yep.
that needs to be asked a little
right?
bit more.
He's still a great player. He's
Yep.
still he's still a great player. He's still, in my opinion, the best quarterback this franchise has ever seen. I think I know Jim Kelly's got a better
Hmm.
resume.
I agree.
Kinda.
I understand what you mean.
Well, four AFC championship, uh, 4 Super Bowl appearances in a row. Nobody's ever done it. Got it. Got it. He's a he's the best quarterback this, in my opinion. My opinion only. So the old heads don't kill me. In my opinion, he's the best quarterback this franchise has ever seen. And a lot of complaints. I like, yes, please. Second and long, meshing screens doesn't help when you're bottom 10 and go for a situation. You know who's calling a lot of those screenplays in those moments? It's
Josh,
Josh checking out of the play that's
check him out the
available.
play. Yep.
It's Josh Allen
Hmm.
saying, it's Josh Allen stepping up and looking and counting. He's counting. He's saying, okay, I got 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, and a nosy safety in the box. That's 8 guys. I got 2 receivers over here to my left, and I got my running back on my left. And I'm looking, I only see 2 guys. I only see 2 coverage guys over there. You know what? My numbers say if I throw this screen, I'm going to get positive yards, and the blitz is never going to get home. That's the numbers game that he's playing. This is a math problem.
Hmm.
This is a math problem. And Josh is doing the math, and he's making decisions based on the math. I don't have to like it. I don't like it sometimes.
Yep. Is that
It is what
common
it is,
and for
though.
other quarterbacks too, Whittle? Is that more like will we see that from Mahomes, or are we seeing some differences in terms of like I
It's
guess the best
different
way
from
is
Mahomes because the Kansas City Chiefs don't really have a rushing attack. So what they
hmm
do is they just spread you out. They put a lot of guys on the field with a lot of speed. So you have to respect that because their speed,
hmm
you can't match. Like it's difficult to have the personnel to match their speed 1-on-1. So they spread you out. It's difficult to load the box on them and not give it away that you're here we come. It's difficult. It's difficult to do that. Welcome back, Kevin.
Welcome back,
I
Kev.
was ranting
Good
while
to
you
be
were
here.
away.
No, I heard
Whittle's
it all.
Whittle's
I had
yeah.
you in my ear, so I heard everything.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Listen, I'm
Was
sorry. I'm
listen
sorry. I'm very passionate about this. I'm sorry. Like the
listen
answers in like, and Kevin says this all the time. The answers are in the film. You know who else
yep.
said that? You know what? You know who the second person was that the second person that said that I heard say it was Joe Marino. I know y'all love Joe Marino. I love Joe Marino. I love his
hmm
content. Y'all love it too. He tells you the answers are in the film. Y'all don't want to watch the film. We're watching it. I got it up right now on my other screen. I'm sorry. It's up right now. Like I'll show you. I promise. I promise you. I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not
No,
gonna
like
do.
if
I'm
you
just gonna
wanted to,
share the
like we can
screen.
even if you want to pull a play, if you have it up or can, like there are plenty of like plays we can watch. Like I don't know which one we have here, but and break down even it as simple as the touchdown one. I know people are calling us out, or people are calling us out in the space. I think I don't know if that was Sunday night or Monday about the Shavers touchdown, and like we can always pull that one out. I mean, that's just a simple. We can simplify that in man coverage. That's usually easy to understand. But there's plenty of cheese that we can show that he's not taking. So
Let's play right here. I'm sorry. Second. This is a second and 10. Right.
hmm
And I think we ran our first down on this. This is the second quarter. 13. We're down 13-0. So like we really need this. We really need points on this drive. And I think we ended this drive with a an interception in the end zone. I think this was the interception in the end zone. But look, we're gonna start like so. You have I mean, we'll just go through it. You got all right. So we got three receivers to the right, and you got a tight end over here at the top of the screen. Saying you got the the right. So what is it? It's like a two by three, whatever, 2x2, and well, I'm just gonna go through and just pause it after the play starts, man. Like where he just needs
going
to get rid
to
of the ball.
he
This
rotates
like
to
that
single
motion
high.
right there,
Mm-hmm.
that motion that they're showing you right there is to give away. Okay, are we in man coverage? That's what they're doing. They're saying, okay, we're in man coverage. I know that this guy right here is not coming. He's not blitzing. So now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the box. He's in coverage. He just gave himself up. So he's in coverage now. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. So they're potentially two guys that are free here that I have to that the quarterback may have to deal with. Let's just go ahead with this, man.
Drop into a cover.
We'll freeze it right here.
Keon Coleman.
Immediately, Josh Allen should
Gotta
take
hit it.
Khalil Shakir right here in the hitch. Quick. Get rid of it. I would throw this football. His eyes are already over there. I feel like this was his read in the first place. He should take this. This is open. If you don't want this, you have the I think the slot, the inside guy going straight up between these two defenders to pull one. Keon is right here. You got all of this grass, guys. You got all of this grass. You can hit Keon. He can pull the trigger now. Hit Keon here. Keon turns upfield, gets another 3 or 4 yards. We're in 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4 tops, bro. Like
hmm
at worst case scenario. What does he do here? Now nobody's open. Now nobody's open.
I mean, even if he scrambles, if he's looking at who's that receiver right there, right in front of him, I mean, he's got you hit that to the top.
You got Shakir right there too. Still,
You hit that to
For
Shakir
sure.
down low. That's a catch. Even if he still scrambles, but look at his eyes, looking down the freaking field. Like, why are you looking down the field?
He's trying to hit Coleman on something down there.
Yep. Why is that? You know why? Because it's a big play.
Plays. You're looking for big plays.
He's saying, "Oh, Keon, run past these two defenders that are double teaming you right now into this area. I'm going to throw it off my back foot, fading out of bounds, and give you a shot to catch the football." Why, bro? For what reason?
You know who will do that though is Gabe Davis.
Exactly. Gabe wouldn't even bother with any of this over here. Gabe would have already just took off this way. Gabe would be down here somewhere, waiting for the football. But they don't want Gabe Davis back either. The Bills fans don't want Gabe Davis back either. We end up getting nothing. You get nothing.
He's waiting for that, and he's waiting for that deep 9 or that post route. He's waiting to the last minute to see if Coleman breaks.
Waiting for it instead of taking what is given to him. Even when he's scrambling, you have
two opportunities there to get good, nice chunk yards.
Come on, he can't be fooled by this fake man coverage. This single high. He knows that's not going to be a single high. Look, they drop into. Look at that. Look at how crystal clear of a coverage that is now.
Cover 3.
Yeah, like they got it all covered in a cover 3, and you have the cheese to call it. You had the cheese in number 10,
but nobody's open, right?
You have number 10 for 7 yards, 5 to 6 negatively.
He's looking at Kincaid on the out right now.
Mm-hmm. You could even make 23 miss, and you never know. I mean, Shakir could be down the sideline and or cutting into the middle toward the Miami logo.
Exactly. You hit Kincaid right here. That's it. Kincaid. If Jones misses Kincaid, Kincaid's up the sideline. Just like you said, Ken. But y'all don't want that. The Bills fans, y'all don't want that. Y'all want Curtis Samuel to come up here and run like some squiggly lineup. You want Curtis Samuel to run up here and do this. You want him to go and then go over here somewhere and then be wide open for a big play for 40 yards and Josh Allen throws his hand up and they go and they do all of this dance. No, dog. Stop. Because somebody's listening. Like Josh might be listening to y'all. It's my fear that Josh actually goes on his Twitter and reads the comments from some of the stuff that's going on. We can't throw the ball downfield. That's my fear. Y'all pissing me off.
He could even right now, he could even hit Shakir right there, right over the top to the 43, roughly. He can make that throw easily.
Oh, the Sam, yeah. I think this is Curtis Sam.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now the thing, because someone tried to argue this. Someone tried to argue this is that it turns more into a whole shot because you got that safety that's coming down and closing on him. And I think as you speak the play up, you had the corner and you had the outside corner in cover 3 is also washing Josh's eyes. But I've seen Josh make that. I've seen Josh make that pass. Like I've seen him make that pass. I've seen him make the pass.
I'm sorry.
I thought he had a little more room there than a typical honey hole.
Nah, I'm sorry. Hold on. If he throws that ball, Jones is undercut. Because he can't put air on. He can't put air because the safety
this is up the seam. So yeah, if it'll be tough because again he's got to split 2 defenders. It's a tough.
He's got to put serious heat on his football. Serious heat.
Well, that's the intermediate to 20 air yards that people are looking for, though. These are the kind of passes.
Yeah, right. These are the air yards. They want Josh to take shots.
If you want the air yards, you throw it you bullet it through 2 defenders like you did on Jay Kumaro to the 44.
Such a dangerous play, bro.
That's what they want. That's what people are asking for.
But listen, if he throws that ball to Samuel and he doesn't catch it and it bounces off his hands, that's an interception. And it could be out.
Got to be perfect. And do you trust?
We got to watch that corner, guys. Too. That corner. I mean, this is what they want to do in that cover 3 look. But at the same time, COVID. This is COVID Josh. COVID Josh is 2021 Josh, 2022 Josh. He's taking that throw every single damn time.
But we've seen 2024, 2025, Josh, and he just needs to hit Khalil Shakir and maybe get up the sideline.
Exactly.
Maybe it's 6 yards.
Exactly.
No, they're not even like. Look at this. They're not even watching. They are not even watching. Where's the Zoom at?
Well, he's going to get
They
way more
both
than 5, 6
actually
yards
lose
there.
Shakir. They both lose Shakir. They're baiting Josh. They would get God on Shakir. I think that Shakir would win for 20 yards on this play, but I can't prove it.
They're not even looking at Shakir. They're not even looking.
No, because
They don't care about Shakir.
they're looking at
Shakir
Keon
the
Coleman.
underneath route.
You got
They're
3
gonna
lines.
give Keon Coleman. They're gonna give Keon 5 yards. They're giving it to him. Take it.
You got 3 defenders looking at Keon Coleman. You got this corner going all the way back because he's watching Samuel covering that deep third. He's open. There's no, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. And even if you're trying to look for Kincaid on the out, I mean, just look. You got the defender in the flat, and then you have. I don't understand. I don't understand. But again, I don't know.
Kincaid's
if he wanted
not
to,
he's just not.
Kincaid,
and he's looking at Kincaid, and this is the whole wide receiver one conversation that bothers me, because when you have a wide receiver one, a designated guy that he always wants to go to, he's gonna go to him even when he shouldn't. Like right now, he was looking at Kincaid, and Kincaid's not open. And because he was looking at Kincaid first, he hasn't even worked his way back to Shakir.
Why does he bail here? He has a perfect crescent on his O line. Why is he bailing on this? Did something happen? Why does Josh bail?
Let's see. No reason.
Why isn't he staying there and waiting to even see?
Maybe, I guess, I think this is David Edwards loses containment, but still, you still have Shakir
right now
here.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, why are you?
Space is here.
Look at his eyes though. Look at his eyes. As soon as he scrambles, he's looking deep instead of taking what is in front of him.
He wants Coleman to go here.
Yep. Look at his eyes.
Because he wants he wants this. He wants this big play.
He wants him to go 40.
Throw it across his body.
Grass.
And if he throws that pass across his body to Keon Coleman, pick. Because the safety. Watch the single high safety on the top. That's a pick. So I don't understand this. Like, I don't understand.
He's pointing to him. He's pointing to him even.
Yeah.
Yep. And watch the safety. Look at the safety. As soon as he points, watch that safety starts to travel right to where Keon Coleman is.
He still has Shakir, by the way. Still
has I'm just about to say that, Kevin.
Still has Shakir. That's a funny
story. Still has Shakir.
I still think he could break that for a first down. Maybe be close.
But it's close. And then we're in 3rd and short. And now, big people on the field, and the possibilities are endless.
Throw it to the side. If he throws it to the sideline now, just throw it now. This is a 6-yard game.
It's still 6 yards.
He still has Shakir. He has Curtis Samuel as well.
He has Curtis Samuel here to make that throw. I'm not worried anymore on that throw. If it goes incomplete, it goes incomplete. But now you really do have Curtis Samuel on a comebacker. Should be a 15-yard play.
What is he looking for?
I still don't know what he's looking for.
He's looking at Coleman.
Now he's looking at. I think this is Cook. This is Cook coming across the formation.
Okay,
which is like a cross-body throw, fading in the opposite direction of where the throw's going. Like,
I still think he's looking at Kincaid.
Ronald Curry should be he should be in full spasms right now on the sideline. Like, what are you thinking? Like, you should not even be attempting this throw. You shouldn't be looking over there, because that's not a high leverage throw. That's not a high probability of success to throw that ball there. Can he do it? Sure he can. Should he try it? No. Because there are 2 better options. By the way, he still has Shakir here. Like, Shakir's still open.
Ball's got him 6 yards.
Oh, God.
And it's too late.
And then he takes a hit. Unnecessarily.
Yeah. To Bradley Chubb, it's one of the hardest hits. One of the harder hits he took that I've seen he took of the season. Stupid. I don't get it.
Now let's do another one. This is one of my favorites. Not one of my favorites.
Oh, I know what this play is.
Oh yeah.
So he checks at the line of
Back
scrimmage.
to
So
that.
he sends a
Yeah.
man in motion after the check. He
Mhm.
sees man coverage. They
I don't hate that decision. Because I don't hate the decision because you got 8 yards out of it, right? But
1, 2, 3, 4.
like there are other options here. I don't hate this.
29 follows Kincaid, so they're truly in cover 3 again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
This is a mesh. I think this is mesh because you guess mesh.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
you can see the
Yep.
mesh route coming Coleman right here.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so yeah,
Like, honestly, I don't hate this at all. Like this is probably the best decision right now for where for what's in front of him.
But look at the outcome, a
This is
9-yard
probably-
play.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
right, exactly.
And we've been
So
calling
this is
for
the
more
right decision.
plays for our running backs in the passing game.
Yeah, but if he wanted to, he does have
and-
some multiple options. He does have multiple options
Yeah.
underneath if he wants to take it, of course. And this is what we were talking about. They were willing to give up a lot of the underneath. This is what they wanted to do, but I want to start using James Cook a little bit more, man. I want to start using him a lot more because this. Yeah, I agree.
I think this was the game they were going to too. Like
Yes.
you can tell that they had a concerted effort to actually say this. We're going to start getting him in the passing game because he ran some routes, and
This
this
is
is
Will
proof right here that he was getting the
right
ball.
there.
And even still, like if he wants, he's got Kincaid 1-on-1 with 29. He can hit Kincaid over here. Kincaid can run to the sideline and try to run through this guy and keep it pushing. But I don't hate this read. Like that's what's there.
Yep, hit him in the
Ball placement, fine.
Right over that defender.
Yeah.
Jimmy almost got that.
But this is to the receiver
Simple.
crowd. It's like there are multiple we have multiple options that are open in this play that we hit. Multiple options. But again, to the receiver crowd, now these guys are not open yet.
I mean, they ran a mesh against zone. Something should be open. They had the right play call.
Yep. That was on 2nd and 10. So now you're in 3rd and short. That's right where you want to be, guys.
Yep.
That's right
Now
where you want to
run
be.
the football. Run the football, pick up the first. I mean, now you have multiple options to pick up that first, make it a lot easier for you. But that's the way it should be. Set things in motion so that we can. It's efficiency. We want efficiency. This is what it's all about.
Yep. I absolutely agree. It's kind of funny. I was talking in the chat. Under Dorsey, we wanted more of these efficient plays, right? Then we get Brady, we get more efficient plays, and now Josh still goes back to the days of Dorsey when it was big game all the time. We just, these kind of things just I think tend to happen. We've talked.
Everything's in overcorrections. The problem, right? We're big game hunting, we're running 4 verts, and we're like, nah, we can't be doing that.
Yes.
So then we want short stuff, and now we're like, nah, definitely can't be doing that.
Absolutely.
I just think people are upset. They're fed up. The energy's not like necessarily in the right place because I am too. Like I want these moments to come, and like we're just a play short. And the idea is like that play is going to fall in their way. In my opinion, it doesn't mean it's this year, but shortly it's going to fall their way because this was the game I was told that they were supposed to be full health for. Now they had just lost a couple players again against the Dolphins, but they were supposed to be into the Buccaneers game with everybody ready. And since then, now they've lost Oliver, they've lost Landon Jackson, now they've lost Kincaid for a few weeks, and Michael Hoyt. But this was really their plan to be taking on all full cylinders with their full roster, and I think all these guys are going to play this weekend. So they were hoping for big things, and I think they just got a little bit ahead of it when it came to the Miami game. They just didn't put it together. They thought they were going to. Everyone was fired there. They thought they would honestly lay down. Tua didn't play that great, in my opinion. Waddle ran a couple great routes, and they ran a pretty standard Achane rush offense that didn't really do a ton until the last 6 minutes. So what did they get? And ended up getting probably 90 yards in the last 6 minutes when it was pretty much over after that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how they also tacked on yards late in the game. I mean, Josh did as well.
And we
He did
still
hit over
out
300.
yardage
But
them again.
yeah, absolutely.
But
Absolutely. So
Will, you
as
should,
far
if
as
you can, fire up the red zone interception. I mean, there's another good example of
that high low concept.
Yeah, of like we're blaming everybody else on this concept. Like, and that there's some things that aren't great of this. In this
is that the play where he should have had Coleman and then he threw it for
he had
the interception?
Coleman on a slant. They could have stuck it right on him. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
It gets broken up.
Could have
No,
been pass
okay, no
interference
problem.
too. Yeah.
Yep. I think it was a hole. If you throw it there, you get the call. If you throw it to Coleman, at least you get the call. You're not going to get the call throwing the other side of the field, in my opinion. He still should have gotten a 5-yard holding.
But that's my question though, Kevin. Is we heard all throughout training camp about Keon Coleman being how much Keon Coleman has improved, especially a lot more in the red zone, how much he was getting targeted in the red zone, the blue and white games. Why isn't Keon Coleman like I don't understand why he's not the number, like why he shouldn't even be considered the number one read, especially because Edwards points it out. He points out the blitz. They know that cover zero is coming because McGovern signals it too, which means that either I don't know if Josh Allen was able to set the protection or change it, or if he missed the call, or if he missed the call, but his eyes directly went to the high-low instead of recognizing the matchup, which was
because he knew he had the high-low on a 2-on-2, like just like backyard basketball. He had a 2-on-2. He knew he had it, and he knew he had one of them. Like I honestly think, like he's like, all right, I'm getting a cover zero. I'm going to have one of those two players. Like undoubtedly, I don't think they can cover this concept with just two guys. And he did the one thing you couldn't do, and it was kind of step into it and kind of shallow it. Like he knows where Shavers is going to be on this play, so play it, run it back. Like so if we run it, and not to mention Coleman's for a touchdown, like we'll start. We can start there.
But you know what? I want to see something because I keep telling I was going to go back and watch this play. I want to watch his feet. Does he set his feet, flip his hips?
Run it back again. So let's watch his.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Watch his feet here.
He just wasn't quite looking Coleman's way as much, like body-wise, he wasn't set to go that way, if that makes sense.
We're blaming Dawkins. Dawkins gets blamed on this play too. So
yeah. Chubb pretty much Chubb. That was, I ain't gonna lie, that was a battle. That's a hell of a battle between Chubb and Dawkins. But yeah, Dawkins got bullied with the bull rush a couple times.
But he's coming on a 0. You would expect Chubb to have the upper hand here.
Look at the protection though. Look, called it out.
I mean, I love the blitz pickup.
Blitz pickup is fine.
Yeah, and over by Coleman, he's got clean. He's still clean on the right side to go back to Coleman.
It's clean enough to set his feet and throw this ball to Keon.
Yep.
I just
boom, touchdown.
But he never was looking that way.
Oh yeah, there it is.
At all.
He jumped it with his feet. See, he should have been through it, but then he jumped. Yep. I see what he did with his feet.
He just throws the ball to Keon though, like you guys said before. I didn't even see this.
Look, it's a pass interference. Pass interference right here because he wins off the slant and he's holding him. So if he
that's got to be called. That's got to be called 5 yards here. I almost think, guys, that Josh thought he had a penalty on this play. I'm not sure, but like this looks like to me like he sees this should be a 5-yard penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
Coleman still may catch that ball if he throws the right plate.
I still think he does, even if it's knocked away.
Yeah, or just high enough where a defender can't get it and Coleman can get up and get it. But
you know what's funny is I even still like Shakir on this play.
Yeah, coming off the orbit, coming off of motion.
I got to look at. I didn't really watch Shakir too much on this play.
I think
so. Watch Shakir on an orbit. So he's going to orbit back. Okay, here he comes. He's 1-on-1 again, and obviously cover 0. Boom, got him.
Yep. Throw that to the pylon.
It's not that hard of a throw. That's not for someone like Josh Allen.
Throw that to the pylon. Worst case scenario. That's at the inch. That's at the 0.5 inch yard line right there. Worst case scenario. We're in fourth and goal.
And even if you try to jump,
was this fourth down?
No, this is third down.
No.
Third down. Even more. Kevin's point about
it would have been 4th and 1. Worst case scenario.
Yep. Okay, I thought maybe this was fourth.
You got to throw it now.
Yep. Throw it.
He pulls the trigger right now and he throws it down here. There's no shot this defender
No shot at
even
jumping it.
gets.
No shot.
No, and there's no shot at this guy jumping it either. If he tries to jump it and misses, Shakir makes a catch and walks in.
Which I still think he might do.
I
and
like
at the worst,
Coleman,
it's fourth and
though.
goal.
I like Keon
Can
here.
we go back to
all day
the
long.
can we go back to the line? I want to see that line because I think they called out that protection early because Josh, he sees it, he recognizes it. Take a look at who was that, Torrance?
So,
I think
Torrance, right guard. See, this is a play where it's like I think Miami's sloppy because they're showing their blitz here.
The orbit.
Torrance looks beat.
So he calls it.
Oh, he calls it right there. Yeah, good look on that.
I still think the line did pretty good on that play.
You're right.
I mean, they look a little tight. The protection was good. I can't blame the protection. I'm trying to figure out what he knows it. Why in the hell is Keon Coleman the first option? Because if that linebacker comes, there's no one here. There's no safe. There's no defender here.
There's no negative throwing it to Coleman.
I don't get it.
It's supposed to be his real strength, right? These one-on-one matchups.
That's your X. That's your primary. That's your primary guy, and this is supposed to be your best red zone threat, and he just is not targeted in the red zone. I don't get it.
But he's running this high-low against. Okay, so we've talked about Shakir. We've talked about Coleman, obviously, and we don't even talk about Knox. We have a high low.
Like Knox is like either Knox or Shavers are like the worst options here because they're both blanketed.
Knox is by far the worst choice. There's zero reason to ever throw to Knox. I still like if you still watch Shavers, you know where he's going to be in one-on-one. This is like where he can make a play. If you know right now, you know where he's going to end up as a anticipatory throw. Like, you know where he's going to be. At the very worst, it goes out of the end zone.
And he's got Jack Jones on him, who's like,
Correct.
what, 5'9"?
People
James
forget that
6'4"?
Josh Allen knows the routes of the receivers. He knows where Shavers is going to be clean route. I still like Shavers there. Boom. Like, even if you have to, if you don't have time to wait.
You got a ton of end zone all back here.
You have all end zone.
All he needs to
anywhere.
do is put the ball high and right there. It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. He's looking that way. He's looking that way.
And if you roll just even a few frames further, I still have Shavers though. Like, I still have Shavers. Jones is not in great position to me.
Yep. If Shavers,
he gets knocked off. I think he gets knocked off balance a little bit.
Yeah. If Shavers flattens this and runs to the inside, I mean, the pocket's like totally done though. So
by the time he releases,
difficult to make that throw. Yeah.
By the time he releases that ball, watch his leg. Watch his leg when he hits the ground. I think this is when he just holds the ball too damn long. This is ultimately his fault. Does he get that ball, or is it still in his hands?
No, the ball's out now.
The ball's out. Okay.
He claims post game that he was going to Shavers, isn't he? Claiming that?
No way. No way.
You think
I think that's what he says.
If he's going to Shavers right there, we got bigger problems. That's a terrible decision.
Because there's no reason, like, you shouldn't even zip it like that. You shouldn't even do that.
No. Because if you were going to Shavers, the time to go to Shavers was
way before.
Way before. Time to go to Shavers.
Now throw it.
You put that ball up, he's got to go get it and make a play. And you look, top of the screen.
Being held, you're going to get a call. If you throw that ball, you get a call. First and goal on the one.
He wins. This is against Juju Brents, man. We made Juju Brents like he's Jalen Ramsey in his prime. Like, look at this. Juju Brents, he wins. Inside slant, wins. Gets held. Flag on the play.
That's a missed call, but yeah.
Yeah.
because his eyes weren't there, he didn't get the call. All Josh needed to maybe even do was glance, start there. If Josh's eyes start there on Keon, he gets 5-yard holding. And then throw a ball up to Shavers in the end zone as a Hail Mary. Who cares?
Yep.
If he throws that ball to Shavers, it's probably a touchdown. It's probably a touchdown. Shavers is 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". You put that ball up.
He doesn't want to throw that route to Shavers.
Win.
And if you don't want him on the field, then he shouldn't be taking reps. Putting Gabe Davis tomorrow or Sunday. If you don't want to throw that ball, it's clearly because you don't trust Shavers. And there's no reason not to. The film says he was open at large parts of that play.
Third and 5. Third and goal. 5.
And I know you trust Shakir. You just didn't throw it to him. Like, I like that throw there to him too. Even if you don't like anything else and you hate every other player.
Yep. And like you mentioned, Kev, 4th and 1. We got 6'5" quarterback. We can sneak it. We can find a way to get a yard.
I still think he could get slippery enough to get a yard too. We're not asking him to get 20 yards after this play.
Yep, that is true. Yeah, and Shakir is one.
Although I don't know what he did on that 2-point conversion. I don't think he remembered that it was not a two. That is not a. He acted like that wasn't a 2-point conversion on that Shakir 2-point.
But that was a big.
You're not supposed to pull that ball out. You're not supposed to pull that ball out there. But he forgot it was a 2-point conversion. I swear to it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yep. And I think mentally the Bills really needed that. To cut that to 8 could have been different.
Taking it one possession it's just a different feel in a game.
Yep, absolutely.
And think about this, like this is how close these are not close. This is how crazy a 60-minute football game is, and this is what I always try to tell people. Like, yeah, we're hindsight. We're like, box. I could never make this throw, but it doesn't make me any less right. Like if you look at this play right here as a pure example that your quarterback needs to score a touchdown and historically does almost every time. Struggled a little bit in the red zone this year, but ultimately your defense was getting off the field. They've been great on third down this year. That was one thing that I never expected to see. Like, they've been the best road third down defense in the league. They're giving you the ball back. And here's an example right here where your quarterback needs to make a simple one-on-one X receiver slant route. I think you get holding. I think you get a touchdown anyways. And it just misplayed. And at the second read here should be your go-to guy in Shakir. He's not going to mess it up.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think a lot of this Coleman hate is a little bit exaggerated. Personally.
I like this route. That's perfect. That's a touchdown. I see nothing wrong with Coleman here.
Mm-hmm.
If Josh throws this ball right now, it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like the right side was collapsing or anything to push him to the left, right?
In the end zone, guys, this is a win. This is called the receiver winning, because if Josh puts this ball at between the M and the I, or just at the top of this M here, what happens?
And in 0 too, like, he's skittish there Dawkins is the only one that's compromised a little bit. Like, he can, like, why isn't he starting on his other side? And maybe even can step in and out of the pocket. Look at how open he is. Look at the opening for a rushing touchdown here too.
Exactly. That's the other part. If he you have one-on-one to the short side of the field. There's nobody else.
Your secondary read running it then if you think Coleman's covered.
Yep.
The problem is they had 3 to the last.
Worst case scenario is you get pulled down, and it's instead of kicking a field goal from the 5, you're kicking it from the 8. So what? You're still getting points.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating.
He was worried that if Coleman couldn't beat Brents, he had no other options if his eyes started on cover 0 to the right. Even though he's held, he gets a flag and or has his legs to bail him out. And hopefully Coleman can move if he sees Josh moving in the pocket, going away from Chubb, going up the seam toward the 0 on the 10 there. You would think he comes back and tries to help him too. You're both going one-on-one with Brents. I like Josh and Coleman versus Brents more than I like a lot of other things.
Even if he isn't open, let's just say Juju Brents does a phenomenal job in coverage. We have seen Josh Allen and Keon Coleman all throughout these practices in these situations where Keon can just box out the defender. He can still box out the defender. We've seen all this. Why do we draft Keon Coleman if we're not going to use him in the red zone? I don't get it. To me, I don't get it. Don't understand it.
Listen, this is not on McDermott. This is not on Keon. This is not on Joe Brady. This is on Josh Allen. This is a Josh Allen decision.
But this is where, how about this right here? I'm getting still images right here. Someone snaps this and says nobody's open. And you're going to tell me that you spend a minute watching film and you know what you're talking about. I got this in the comments of one of the spaces. Nobody's open. You don't know what you're talking about. Right here, just screenshot of
Somebody
like
just said that now?
Kevin, it's a narrative. It's a narrative that gets clicks and gets retweets, and that's what some of these content
right now,
creators are after. Let's just call it out.
You're in the red zone. You're in a compressed area on a blitz. Like, you're not going to get 40 yards. There isn't 30 yards of separation to have. Like, every yard or two that even Shakir has here is open in this setting. I think everybody's open in a way beside Knox.
If he's throwing it to Shavers here.
He said he was in his post game.
Why? Like, there's no touch. There's no throw. Like, right. That should be a throw to the back. I'm pointing, but that should be a throwback here.
I still think Shavers makes that play. Maybe it's incomplete, but I still think he makes that play if he touches it.
Put a little air, a little touch under it, and he probably makes that happen, man.
He didn't. I think he really was throwing it to Shavers, and he did not see Knox's defender. He thought that bullet would get through and get Shavers on a sliding catch, like he did to Ty Johnson in the playoffs.
And this is what people have said, that because Knox ran that lazy route and the defender was able to stick with it, that ultimately he didn't see the Miami.
It's a high-low concept. Like, run it back. Like, I guess let's watch Knox because that's where the ball, I guess, went. Even though he says he doesn't throw into Knox. So we're going to blame everybody else on this play. Okay. So we blame Dawkins already. So if we run it. So Dawkins makes everyone miss and then screwed up. Okay.
He ran like spacing.
So that's what that's what they blame right there is when he cuts off. Apparently he cuts off the route, stops running, and that allows the defender, like right here, he stops. It just slows down, and that just allows the defender to go up there and make the pick. That's what people.
He's already the ball's out. The defender's not following. If Knox sprints to the pylon, the defender's not moving.
But we just I'm saying, like,
Knox cuts the route short because he sees the ball coming out. That's why Knox stops.
Like, so all right, so this is where if you wanted to blame Brady for something, this is where you do it. If you wanted to blame Brady or Knox, this is where you do it, because this really should be an in route for Knox. It should be an in route because you have the high-low. It's with Shakir and Shavers. If Shavers' route is a dig across the back of the end zone,
it's a deep end, right? Shavers is
yeah. So if it's a deep end, you have the speed out by Shakir. If Knox runs a dig right across the middle and he sits somewhere in here, you have a ton of space right here. You got a ton of space.
I mean, let's ultimately say what this route, what this combination is, though, Whittle, is, especially if you're getting zero, which they did get a zero look, obviously, the spacing, even more so for a Keon Coleman touchdown, is elite. There's no risk throwing this ball to Keon Coleman. Unless you think he bobbles it and throws it in the air and punts it or something. There's like zero risk because now the best part about Knox and even Shakir, they pulled all three of the four non-blitzing defenders out of the way. Yep. You have nothing but open space on a one-on-one where he's going to win that against Brents. And I still think if that ball gets out there, you're getting the first and goal on the one.
And again, these are the moments that we drafted Keon Coleman for. He's not a volume receiver. He's not going to get 100 receptions. He's not that kind of receiver. This is where these are the moments. that we were hoping for when we drafted him, and he doesn't even think about it here. That's perplexing to me.
Nobody's open, guys. Nobody's open.
Nobody's open. Nope.
Look at it.
Screenshot that and post, and nobody's open. That's what they do. So if you screenshot that right there.
Yeah. There's not a lot of room in these games. I mean, this is, you understand, the windows are tight, right? Especially at this
still
level.
think Shakir is open. So even if you want to screenshot me,
yep,
you put the ball right behind who's covering, or Jones. So you put the ball right on Jones's ass, and
Shakir runs under it. Yep.
Touchdown. Maybe fourth and goal at the 1. You go for it.
Fourth and goal at the 1. Exactly.
If that guy makes, I don't know who's covering Shakir's at. I can't see who's in the slot. Is that Minka? I don't know who that is.
29 is
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it is Minka. So Minka's covering him fine. I expect Minka to probably make a play here, but it's fourth and goal. Fourth and goal on the 1. You're gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't know how we take a look at the report and say Juju Brent's a practice squad corner, and Keon's just going to have a hard time with him, especially when we get to these.
They didn't even. I'm going to go as far as saying they didn't even scout Juju Brent in there. I don't mean literally, but they probably spent no time because it's normally Rasul Douglas, and they probably said it might be who's the guy he torched that got benched. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The corner they played and then took off the field. Who they were probably expecting to play, what's his name? Ethan Bonner. So
Ethan Bonner, yeah.
And they also had, they have Elijah Campbell there and Jordan Colbert, and they had, we're doing things with Malfonwu, and they were doing weird things, and obviously they use Minka to obviously he's covering Shakir here. So they probably spent no time. Like Juju Brent is a guy that just got waived like 7 weeks ago by the Colts, like a failed draft pick. So they caught him 2023 second round draft choice. Talk about a bust.
Yeah. Gosh, and he had enough time to get him there too, man.
But if you expect 18 yards of separation, or I won't be so facetious, 7 yards of separation in the high red area, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's just not. It's not. Maybe Jackson Smith and Jigba because he's playing out of his mind, or a couple other receivers right now, but you just don't get that kind of separation. And Knox's route's not like perfect. Like I'm not sitting here saying Knox ran the greatest route I've ever seen or something, or I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's that good, but it didn't affect the play. I'm sorry. You expect your MVP quarterback to know to put air on it to get to the shavers or stick it on Keon Coleman, or even go to your orbit, or even go one-on-one with Minka and at least get something going. But he didn't look Shakir's way. We watched many plays here where he had the cheese with Shakir for 4 to 6 yards every time.
I'm trying to Chiefs move the ball last year after Rice got hurt. A bunch of little short completions, and they took their shots when the shots were there, but a lot of short stuff, man. A lot of run after the catch yard.
Oh, and Morgan Fox, I see the question up. I mean, he's. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know that he was available until a couple of days ago, and I'm like, wait, what? He just signed a fairly decent, not quite Michael Hoyt size, but a decent size, guaranteed money involved deal. I didn't realize he wasn't on an IR somewhere. And he's somebody that does exactly. He plays DT, he plays DN, he can stand up, he can play 5 tech, he can play 3, he can play 7 and 9. He can do a lot of different. Maybe can't do the linebacking play that Michael Hoyt could. So you can't use him quite as versatile as Hoyt, but he's a dude that has won reps from the inside many times. And a guy that's not going to be quite Michael Hoyt, but it is as close of a replacement as you can get, and not having to go down the route of like a Casey Toohill.
They're trying to find a complement to with Javon Solomon, because we still haven't seen those packages with Michael Hoyt and Javon Solomon, how they were in practice. And like these two were together, mugging the A gaps. Certain times, I mean, literally they were packages where it was just them, and then it was Terrell Bernard playing as the other one. There was another package where it was Dorian Williams playing more as a Mike, and then you had Javon, and then you had Javon and Michael Hoyt at 3 linebacker sets. Like, we still haven't seen that yet, because not to say that they were that they were just waiting for it and stuff like that, but again, it's just, I don't know. It is what it is. I think now that we have we're not trying to go away from it. I don't think what we ran from like the first beginning of the weeks, that's not what we're trying to go with our base. We're trying to run a little bit. We're trying to run way more difference now, especially because, we're trying to find pass rushing juice. This entire offseason was spent to really rebuild that secondary, get a lot more younger, knowing that they're going to take their lumps in that secondary. But ultimately, the goal is to improve that pass rush. That's their goal, to improve
and they
that
did.
pass rush. And they did. Just that injuries happen. Just what it is with the injuries.
That was the hardest point, is that this is another game where you had Daquan Jones coming off a calf injury who couldn't play against the Falcons, kicking out and playing 7 and 9 tech, like literally a true defensive end. So what are you supposed to do? Like, you have a versatile defensive tackle playing out of position who's hurt because you're missing 3 guys every single game. Like, it's going to come around. And we have Sanders who's getting a knee cleanup, and the Bills decided to give him a knee cleanup because everybody was healthy at the time. And let's see if he gets more explosiveness when he comes back. And that's what I'm excited about. Does he show some pop against the Bucs? And the Bucs are missing a guard. So, and Ben Braidson, does he show some pop coming back after the knee clean out? And, now you're going to get full strength Jones and Ogunjobi and Walker and you're going to have your full complement of guys now, a little bit healthier at the DT, and you're pretty healthy at the end, hopefully. You're just missing Hoyt. So AJ's back, guys. It's a different defensive line in this game coming up here. And you're going to get your corners back too. Like, let's not forget that one of their touchdowns was the 2 reps Dane Jackson played in the game. 2 reps.
Feels great, Dane Jackson. Jeez.
Like, it's just kind of a spitting image of the last loss in Miami, in my opinion. It's in a lot of ways. The Bills were a little better offensively in that, but they still looked similar. They couldn't score. And remember Josh dirting it to Isaiah McKenzie's touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to. He had separation, space. All Josh has to do is throw him a good ball. We walk out of there with a W. Done.
Whatever. Like, they can enjoy. And then you have Mike McDaniel rolling through the elbow room or whatever it's called. And like, what ridiculous. You're 3-7, dude. You barely have a job. That's ridiculous. Like, I'd be embarrassed if McDermott was driving through Kansas City or so. I'd be embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah, I would say. We talked about Morgan Moses. I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. Do you guys think that we are in must-win territory?
Yep. If you want to, I'm not having. I mean, the division is what it is. If we win it, we win it. We don't, we don't. At this point, I need to see Josh Allen just improve, because we're going to go against another team that runs a lot of cover three variations. They're going to run sky. They're going to run quarters. They're going to be running a lot of quarters, match coverage. They're going to be running a cover 2 variations. We're going to start seeing a lot more Tampa 2 in this game. Don't be surprised when you see that. We're going to start seeing again with the 2 high looks. This is not a man coverage like team, even though they're starting to ramp it up a little bit. But I mean, they're one of the, I think they're one of the highest. Kevin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're one of the highest blitz rate teams too. So I think they're very similar to Atlanta in that particular situation. But this is going to be a team. Now, here's the good thing about Tampa. They're allowing a lot of explosive plays. And I mean a lot of explosive plays. I don't think their secondary, their linebacking core is as fast as Miami or Atlanta. And I give Miami that credit. Their linebackers are fast. Their secondary was banged up, but their linebackers are small and they're also very fast. Atlanta had that combination of size and athletic ability and speed that the Buffalo Bills were just not accustomed to facing against. Tampa's kind of old. Like, their linebackers are kind of old, banged up a little bit. Levante David is still there. He's still really good, but he's not the same linebacker that he was 5-6 years ago. I think their secondary, is a little bit more banged up in that area as well, but they're allowing a lot more explosive plays. So even though Josh Allen has more speed, he's stronger against zone because he's not taking what the defense is given to him. This is also a game like the Tampa Bay's defense is not, unfortunately, I think it's taking a step back. Whether you want to blame injuries or not, it is what it is. And, I got to give credit to the Patriots. I mean, Travion Henderson had his coming out party against the Buccaneers, and they pretty much they just ran away from Vita Vea, who is one of the best defensive tackles, just an incredible disruptor, but they just attacked the edges. And, sooner or later they went into 22 personnel and were still chucking out plays. So this is a game where I think James Cook can definitely go out, rebound, and you can definitely establish more of a ground game. But it's kind of funny because we had said, and he kind of said the same thing, is that Tampa's like our weaknesses are kind of like their weaknesses, and their strengths are kind of our strengths. It's like we're very similar to each other in a way, but this should be a game where Josh rebounds. But if this is another game again where he struggles because he doesn't take what's given to him, and whether or not we want to blame McDermott or whatever the case is, if he struggles again, at this point, it's a Josh issue. It's just a Josh issue, and I don't know if he's going to snap out of it because teams are ramping up playing zone coverage against us. It is, it's something that I am going to be concerned about if he can't fix in this game.
And they have a negative 0.5 per EPA per play in personnel diversification. Yeah. They literally only run 11 and 12 in Tampa. That is all they run. So, you don't have confusing packages coming out of there. They run 12 at 34% rate toward the top of the league in Tampa. So I think you're going to be able to counter that. And you're going to be able to do different things personnel-wise. You may see Dorian Williams in this game, little Cam Lewis. I think that it's a little bit more easily diversified in the way that they run the game. And a cool side note, the Bills are running 22 personnel 23% of the time right now since week 5. 23% in 22 personnel. So that's a side note, and by far the most in the league. The only other team that even runs it is the Chargers from the looks of it. You have half the league doesn't run it ever. So that's a cool little match that's super hard to account for. You have no idea what defense to run. And what the Dolphins did is they ran their base defense out on first down, and the Bills will have a counter to that. The only good thing about this Tampa game is that the Dolphins just put on film what they're going to do, how to stop the Bills. The Bills are going to counter that if the Bucs think that they're going to run similar things. If they're going to come out and base defense on first down, Josh is going to start throwing all over the yard. And now he's going to have open guys. They're going to be heavy. So, and he's going to have different receivers. Ultimately, you have a game where you have at least Gabe and Palmer and possibly Mecole Hardman.
Gabe is good to go.
Yeah, that's the rumbling. So you got a couple of new man beaters and guys that know how to play off script now. And you also have possibly a new speed weapon in the return game. And yes, he's not Jalen Waddle. No one, it's silly that anyone even thinks that we think we're getting someone super good, but you're going to have mismatches on the field. I don't think we see Curtis Samuel. I think he's inactive. Unfortunately, Shavers may be getting the no jersey this weekend if they are going to play Gabe and Mecole. So just no Shavers and probably no Samuel. What's that?
I don't see Mecole. I don't want to see Mecole Hardman.
I don't think you'll see him a ton on offense, but he's going to get some rep. He's going to get some rip, I think, at least to start with, and some specialty play / return game.
That's kind of what I'm interested in seeing is if they don't trust, our return unit hasn't been the best. And so if they're looking for some juice there at return, it's kind of why not, I guess.
Yeah. Scratch Codrington, scratch Shavers. You're probably going to scratch Samuel, but you're going to ultimately probably give jerseys to Gabe. And if they can afford it, I think you see either, I don't know for sure you're going to see, but he was taking first team return reps. So we'll see if that actually means anything or if they're going to plan him for down the road or an injury or something. But you're going to play Morgan Fox or you're going to play Mecole Hardman, in my opinion. You're going to pick who helps you more in this matchup. Probably, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
On how you ultimately plan for, you're going to take off Sanders off the IR, and then you're going to ultimately pick which two elevations you're going to have. So you could always cut Mathis too. He's hurt, and you could actually, elevate someone to the active roster too. So you call up 3 people. So we'll see. But I do think you're going to see a different roster than we've seen against the Dolphins. Much different. So I think they said on the broadcast, guys, 8 starters were missing time for the Bills defense at one point this season. So
nothing you can really, sometimes but at the same time, your offense got it, offense got to get healthy. And when your main star and when your superstar quarterback is just not playing within the structure of the offense where you expect him to. I mean, what are you supposed to do? But it is what it is. It's just, fire Bean, fire McDermott.
But in the second half of that game, you had, obviously Palmer's out and you had no Kincaid. So like these in-game injuries are worse than you're going into the Atlanta game thinking your game plan specific to beat man coverage and to beat the Falcons, and you lose one of your main weapons in that game, and you already didn't have Kincaid. So like it's just these in-game things that are killing them. Right, the in-game injuries are killer. It's not even just the ones that got hurt in week 4. It's these in-game injuries. When you have a game plan that you make right now on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays that you're implementing, and you lose the players out of that game plan, it's tough. You do need your MVP to make up for it, though.
That's why the whole argument about like injuries don't matter, like it's nonsense.
In-game injuries matter so much. I don't know how else to put it.
I never. I mean, I understand it, but that's really just a Twitter.
You have Christian Benford in a man coverage scheme against the Chiefs, and he's one of your key cogs of your defense, and he goes out in the first quarter with his second concussion.
12 plays.
I only have one game where two of your first team's corners are playing with each other. Only have one game this year. So
these are huge reps for Hairston. I mean, he's playing against Worthy, put him in a seatbelt, and he's getting reps against Waddle, who got him once, and Max got him back a couple times.
Cool, man.
So
he runs a 4.2, man. Runs a 4.2, too. So, and Hairston caught up with him, was able to catch up with that recovery speed. Just lost footing and just he'll learn that within time. But it's like, bro, he's going against some of the fastest, best route running, faster receivers for the first couple of weeks. Now he's going against one of the best route running receivers,
Yep.
And this is going to be interesting because for what Seth said was that Tampa Bay's receivers are not really good against man coverage, but they're very good against zone. Hairston's a zone corner. And so that's strength versus strength. That's a fun battle to watch.
Do you put Benford? Benford's been shadowing ones though, and they don't really have to worry about anybody except Abuka. So
I would not put Benford on Abuka. I would definitely
just follow him around in man coverage, in my opinion.
I'm probably I'd let Max deal with that. I'd let Max deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, you could give Harrison one of those other guys, one of those, Tyler Johnson or whoever else that they're, my guy Tez Johnson. I don't think there's a ton of weapons there. I mean, they're equally missing, but you got Cameron Johnson, you got Sterling Shepard. I mean, Sterling will be in the slot though. So, I mean, I think Tez Johnson, I think Maxwell Harrison should be able to have a nice day with Tez Johnson, I hope. So there's a lot of winnable matchups on this side of the ball. That's why Baker's playing significantly, and his numbers are horrific against the blitz. Bill should have some blitzes dialed up in this game, guys.
It's McDermott. McDermott's going to bring the heat for sure. Last thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to get out of here after that. Did you guys see AJ Brown's comments? Did you see the
bench him in fantasy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, he's been very disgruntled. I do think that Philly would be best served by moving him in the offseason, probably in draft day, probably when it's going to happen. Are you interested?
Yeah, I'm always interested in AJ Brown. I wouldn't be shocked if Bean didn't call the top receivers he thought were available in this league. Garrett Wilson. There were rumblings. They did call the Jets for him. Obviously, the Waddle rumblings. We don't know if that compensation's real. Like, that seems leaked by Miami to prove that they were trying to get the most possible for these guys. Doesn't seem overly. I don't see why being in the year that 2027, Jarek would be able to probably say more, like it's supposed to be a really good draft. I don't see why the Bills wouldn't have budged on keeping their 2027 first or whatever the deal was and not wanting to trade the 2026 first. It doesn't make any sense. Like, come on. Like, we can hate Bean, we can hate McDermott. That doesn't make any sense. If they were that close on a deal, you don't think he's moving the 2026 first where he's thinking he's picking 28 to 32. Like, yeah, like they're moving that pick. That doesn't make any. Miami was not dealing Jalen Waddle us unless they were maybe a couple of firsts and more.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like I don't
Two
see
first
why
and like Keon Coleman or something, and the Bills are like, no, like that's just too much. We can't do that. But to AJ Brown, he's on a minimum contract again next year, so you get the cap relief for a year. He's a true number one. You have a whole offseason now to work with Josh and get that in play. Yes, the Bills are kind of in this weird passing spot, but that can change quickly with a new OC and AJ Brown. Like, absolutely, I'll give them what they want for AJ Brown, especially because I think that the contract works out for the Bills and they could build around this passing game that could have Keon, could have AJ Brown, Khalil Shakir, could look wild, Josh Palmer, Kincaid, could look wildly different in just 6 months from now. So, and AJ Brown would be a big difference, and then you can draft defense the rest of the day. So,
Yep.
I'm all in on it. The contract makes sense too, and that's why I think that the Waddle contract made sense. So I buy that they were interested in Waddle, and the AJ Brown contract makes sense.
Weird. I just think that I think he wants to. I think he wants to go. He won his ring. I think he wants the numbers now. And I mean, why not? Why not us?
He's on a $1.3 million base salary next year. The Eagles eat a little bit of the money. You have him at a pretty cost affordable deal while you're building the rest of your team and defense, and everybody's happy because you get the receiver one. People will probably still complain that it's not Jamar Chase or something, but ultimately you're getting, oh, he had a down year, so he must suck. That's what we're going to hear, right? If they do make a trade for AJ Brown, what are we going to hear? That of course we get him now. He's bad. He's not open. You know, Jalen Hurts never threw to him. He's just a decoy. He's Amari Cooper. You're going to hear that all offseason if he is the chosen receiver. You know it.
Derek?
I ain't gonna lie to you. If I get AJ Brown, I'm not gonna come. I mean, I get here's the only thing I think this is questionable. If we were able to play in this offense again, how excited would AJ Brown get into?
That's a good question.
For the most part, we're trying to run an offense very similar to what Philly's trying to do with Jalen Hurts. Well, don't make mistakes. We're not going to force anything unless you need to. And if AJ Brown, remember, AJ Brown had a 1,400-yard season and was still kind of complaining about it. So if he was able to come here, knowing the type of offense that we run, because here's a prediction: Joe Brady ain't going anywhere. So I don't think he's taking a head coaching job. I definitely don't think he's taking a college job, because if he would have took a college job, then he would have got the job right now, because there's a reason why teams are firing coaches 2-3 weeks. 3-4 weeks into the season. They're doing it because they're trying to beat the early signing day period. You got the early signing day period. You got the transfer portal window, which is 3 windows, but you're trying to beat that transfer portal window. You're not. It's too much work for a head coach to come in during January for that to happen. So no, there's a reason why LSU fired their coach early. And there's a reason why Penn State did it and Florida did it. They're doing it now and trying to find coaches now. That's why Brian Daboll was one of the first. Brian Daboll from the Penn State message boards. That's why they're confident they're bringing him in. And I ultimately think they're potentially going to hire him. Not to mention there's past connections there with Brian Daboll and Penn State. So that's kind of a quick
head coach.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the head coach for Penn State. I think he's going to be that, because they're getting him on a visit now. So who knows? Boosters are on the message boards. They're confident that they like Brian Daboll a lot to be a head coach candidate. Could be somebody else, but no. Like you're trying to get it out the way now. It's too much to handle when you get to December and January, when you're battling transfer portal windows and signing day, and you got a second signing date in February.
But my question is, what happens if LSU or whomever, like whatever school what else has Brady been linked to? LSU and. I guess he was linked to Penn State too, right?
Yeah, LSU, Florida. Like he was linked to both those other schools as well.
What happens if they call the Bills? What do the Bills do? They're like, he's under contract, so they would have to. So they call the Bills. What do the Bills say? Like, you can't. Like, how does that go? Like, that's super weird situation where, like, sure, you can go, but you got to play here through January and February. So
yeah. I don't know how the NFL works, but with college, you can contact coaches during college all you want. It's up to them whether or not they take the job or not. But the fact that Daboll was seen walking out with a Penn State sweater and he's already scheduled for a visit, like that was quick, which means that either I don't know, like that was extremely quick. So I don't know how it works for the NFL, but
he must have had boosters in his ear knowing that was his next lineup for sure. And that's and McDermott, when he answered the question about Dable, probably knew that too. Like, these guys are really smart, even though we think that we don't think that. They're really smart. They know anything that's going on in the league.
It wouldn't be shocking to me if there's a certain booster here in Terry Pagula. It would not be surprising at all, because Dable's got a house here. He's got a house in Hamburg. Terry Pagula is the biggest Penn State donor. It would not be shocking. There's already connection there. So that's it is what
still owns it. Dayball still owns his house up here.
Yeah,
up
still
there?
got a house here. Yep. Still got a house here in Hamburg, right near Patrick Kane, right near the water. Yep, still got a house. Yep. So it is what is there. But yeah, with AJ Brown, yeah, I would love to have AJ Brown, but at the same time, what is his attitude going to be like in terms of just the offense? Is he going to be happy with the offense? You know, again, he's an alpha receiver. And it's not a bad thing, because when you're playing a receiver, it's one of those positions, man, where sometimes you will win and you will still not get rewarded.
And real quick on Brown before we wrap up is I have like some of his when we traded for Cooper, I was worried about some of the metrics, but when you look at AJ Brown, I still got top 30 metrics. The number one thing that I'm going to argue for him for is he's 18th in the league at a 25.7% on target share. Mm-hmm. So he's seeing some efficiency that I like. And I mean, you look at, you break down some further of his advanced metrics, and you got an 11 ADOT, which I like, a 1.68 yards per route ran, which means he's running a little bit too many routes without getting the ball. Not his fault though. Only seeing 0.22 targets per route ran. Once again, not his fault. He's not getting the target. But he's being fairly efficient, which he's still 32nd in the league in EPA. So even with a low target share, he's still putting up receiver one production on a team that I know right now, Devontae Smith is top 10 in most metrics right now, in a lot of metrics. So I like him. They're going to pay him on top of it. We have the flexibility. I think it's a no-brainer. And then from there, we can get the receiver one.
We can get it. We can afford it. Yeah. My question is, what's his attitude going to be like with this offense? How is it going to be like with Joe Brady or the other coordinator that's going to replace him? And how is it going to be with Josh? Because Jalen Hurts, nothing phases him. I remember watching him and Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, Robert Foster, Cam Sims, who else? Not Jalen Waddle, because he wasn't there, but Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, they all complained. All of them complained, and this is with Dable. This is when Dable was there. They all complained because Jalen Hurts just wasn't a great passer. He was efficient. He was solid. He had 15, 20 touches a game. When you're dealing with nothing but 5-star receivers all over the damn place, they're all trying to get the rock. But that's not what Jalen Hurts.
But where can you go and be on a winning team and be the instant receiver one? I'll argue that, there's definitely some inefficiencies. We talk about them on this here on Whittle's show, and we talk about it in Spaces. We talk about it on all the time. But where can you go and be an instant receiver one, build the rapport with a number one quarterback in the league? Or two, or we can argue to 1, 2, or 3, doesn't really matter. Top 3 quarterback, number receiver one on a playoff Super Bowl aspirations team, still making your money, and you're the spotlight. There's nobody else there. You're not competing against, going to LA even with McVay and competing against Puka Nacua. It's literally you, and then Devontae Adams, I think, is still signed there too. I don't think it's just a 1-year deal. So you're still there. Under even going to the Patriots, Diggs had actually signed a multi-year deal. So you still have, where are you going to go? That's going to be my counter argument. If that doesn't work there, and I know nothing phases, I know I have some Philly fans that bothers them, how Hurts acts like that. But to me, whatever. I think he would come here and Josh Allen's so good at building relationships with people. And I think the organization, that's a pro of the organization now. I think that they're really good at players loving to stay here. They come back. Look at Jordan Phillips, not, just using that as an example. Gabe Davis is being paid by somebody else. The Bills are having Jacksonville, one of the lower payroll teams in the league, pay Gabe Davis to play for Buffalo. So that's ultimately due to Josh Allen. And I still think that it would work out. There's going to be a little bit of inefficiencies, but let's be honest, guys. We need AJ Brown for 2 to 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. That's all we needed to work for in theory.
Just long enough for the rookie receiver that they draft to develop.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And speaking of prospects, we're gonna defer to Jarek. Jarek, you give us a quick rundown of the potential picks that the Buffalo Bills may be looking at. We're gonna start kind of ingratiating you guys into the draft class that's coming up. It's never too early to start the scouting. Um, they're already out there. Our scouts are already out there. They're going to these games. They're watching these kids. They're gathering information in order to determine,
Receivers
who's
only,
gonna.
Jarek.
Yeah. Yeah, receivers only. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You Bills fans, you're gonna be pissed off because so far the Bills have gone to 18 games. So they've gone to 18 games so far. The 4 teams they've gone to the most, they love these schools. Oregon, Clemson, South Carolina, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma. They love those schools. They've been to multiple games. Brandon Beane himself went to the Clemson LSU game. Multiple reps have gone to to some of these games. Now, in terms of like the teams that you would love to see, right? Ohio State, Texas, Michigan, Wisconsin. Who else? They went to the Oregon game. They went to the Oklahoma Temple. Like the fact that you're going to an Oklahoma Temple game and Temple has no NFL, like they have no NFL prospects, tells me that you're going there to specifically see someone for Oklahoma. So there are prospects from these particular teams that they love. So anyone that keeps saying that we want to get this player from a certain school, like I don't know, we want to go to like Arizona State and we want to get Jordan Tyson, which they could still go, mind you, and it's because the season's still not over. We still got some weeks left, and then there's conference championship and bowl games. Like, yeah, there's a lot of games left, but they haven't gone to those games yet. And the fact that they've gone to see 5 schools multiple times tells me that there's prospects there that they really, really want to check out. They really like. And this is not a process that you're just, this is not a process that you're just getting started for a player in their senior year. You've been known about these players since they were in high school, junior, senior year. They're going into 7-on-7 camps, elite camps. You've been watched these players. You know what they've been about. So ultimately, again, that's what I kind of try to break my stuff down. Whenever I do mock drafts, I'm trying to base it off of not what I want to do. I try to base off what they want to do, what they've done based off of their history, who they scouted for past years, what games they've gone to the last 2-3 years. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, I tell you, Bills fans, there's not a lot of receivers, at least that I've seen so far, that I think that they're going to be interested in. And even the receivers that they are interested in, I just don't know if they're going to get them. Like Carnell Tate, I think Carnell Tate, they love Ohio State. We got a player from Ohio State last year in Jordan Hancock. Matter of fact, the funny story is, I don't think we were initially interested in Jordan Hancock. There was another player that we liked, but then in a game, Jordan Hancock caught the surprise, and that's how we got it. So Carnell Tate, we love. I think they're gonna love him. I just think he's in my opinion, I think he's the best receiver in the class. He is drastically improved, I should say, and that dude's going top 10. So now we have to go down to the 4 or 5 schools that they like the most, which is Oregon, Clemson, South Carolina, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma. South Carolina is interesting because there's a player there that runs 4.2 speed at 6'5", and Nicholas Harbor. Yeah, already like it's interesting because they've gone to see South Carolina 2 times. Both times that they went, Nick Harbor had a 70+ yard touchdown. He is a freakazoid. He's the only player in Bruce Philbin that he's been doing this list he's number 1 on Bruce Philbin's list since his junior year of high school. He's the only high school player to make a Bruce Philbin list. He's a freakazoid. And the crazy part is, because they got him at 230, he's not 230, he's 260. He drops weight to play receiver because that's just how much of a freak he is. He's really an edge rusher. And I think he would be a dominant first-round edge rusher if he played. He's just, for some weird reason, he just wants to play receiver. If he lines up in the slot in a free release, he wins off of 3 routes. He wins on a deep crosser, a post corner, and just a regular kind of post route, or sometimes even a streak. Can't catch him. He runs almost 23 miles per hour every single time he runs those routes. It's insane. The Bills are interested in
like
him.
DK Metcalf, essentially.
It's DK Metcalf-esque. Only except that I think he's faster than DK Metcalf, which is crazy. My issue with him though, doesn't have great hands, raw as hell as a receiver. He gets jammed up a lot, can't get off a press, and has a limited route tree. Now, when he runs that 40, that scouts know he's gonna run it. If he runs that 4.2, and this is we talked about this in space earlier, he's gonna go early. And he may go first round early, despite all those limitations, because they may think of what he could be. And the fact that we've gone to these South Carolina, we've gone to, I think, 4 South Carolina games last year. We've gone to 2 this year. We've got familiarity with Nick Harbor. Yeah, we love South Carolina. You got Brandon Cease, who's a cornerback there, who's balling right now. You have Jalen Kilgore, who's more of a nickel safety, he's really good as a nickel. He's really good. I'm talking potentially top 100 player that we need a Teron Johnson replacement. Jalen Kilgore has been on their radar for a long time, in my opinion. He's been on the radar. So you got him, you got Nick Barrett, but the one that stands out the rest of the crowd, well, it's 2. It's Sellers, who obviously is not going to come to Buffalo, and it's Nick Harbor. So that's South Carolina's the one school that we always get South Carolina. We always are interested in those guys. We're interested in the Carolinas anyway. We've gone to an NC State game. We've gone to a South Carolina game. We've gone to a Duke game. We've gone to a Clemson game. We love the Carolinas. Big reason why? Because of Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott coming from the Carolina Panthers. That's what they're from. And
Clemson just happens to have Peter Woods and TJ Parker too.
Exactly. Yep. And TJ Parker's fine. Mm-hmm.
No love for K-Part.
Oh, K-Part. Yeah, K-Part, DeMonte K-Part. That's another one. Wade Wudas, which ironically enough, I think his uncle, played for the Bills. I think I forgot the name, but his uncle played for the Bills. But Wade Wudas is another one.
The problem is going to be, like, it's not just defense. Like, when they continue to load defensive linemen, people are going to be furious.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. Amari Washington's another name to look out for Oregon. They love Oregon players. They've gone to 2 games. I don't see any first-round guys. Malik Benson is their best receiver, but he's not. That's a 3rd, 4th-round caliber, about speedy kind of X receiver.
Well, they have Ugalele too.
You got Mateo, and oh god, people will be pissed off if we chose Mateo
272
because he's essentially Gregory Rousseau. He's not the most. He's definitely not the most athletic, but you can play him inside and out. He's the best.
They like that though. They like that.
Yeah. They love it. 6'5", 270 pounds, man. Like, they love it.
They know they can do anything they want with him as another Rousseau for cheap.
Exactly. That's kind of the problem. But Kevin, that's the problem. A lot of the schools that they've scouted, every single one of the schools that they scouted has gotten a freakazoid edge rusher or edge defender on their squadrons. They look Arkansas. They've gone to an Arkansas game, guys. Who's on Arkansas? Quincy Rhodes. Who played opposite of Lennon Jackson, who's 6'6", 278 with 34-inch arms. That's what they love. There's a reason why they're not going to these first-round schools that everybody loves. Besides Ohio State and USC, they're not going to any of these places. They're going specifically to players that have positions that we desperately need. Linebacker, Anthony Hill, Sonny Styles. Edge rusher, there's like 6 of them. Malachi Lawrence, Quincy Rhodes, Vincent Anthony, who's a 6'5", 260-pound stand-up guy who, guess what he plays? He plays the Michael Hoyt role. Lines up in the C gap, lines up in the B gap. They even line him at A. Not even mugging, but playing as a 3-tech. They stand him up. They play him as an outside linebacker. He's a hybrid. Michigan, James John Barham, hybrid player. They're telling us what they like. We just don't want to accept it. And so this whole receiver crowd that everyone loves, yeah, they may choose their receiver. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but look at the players, look at the schools that they've scouted, look at the players, and that should tell you everything you need to know.
Look at the linebacker class this year. You don't think that they're going to come away with either Styles or even, Hill, or if they're going to go with Whit Weeks, like they're going to come away with whatever is their style for these 3-down. There's a bunch of 3-down linebackers. There's no way they're not going to leave this draft in the top 82. Yeah, it could even be as high as the first round.
Yep. And they also I forgot to mention Notre Dame. They love Notre Dame. They love Notre Dame to death. That's the most games they've ever been to was Notre Dame. They love it.
We don't really draft from there. Who would they eyeing?
Well, linebacker Drake Bowen is one, and he's a Mike. So he's a Mike to the death, to the core. So you have Drake Bowen, you have Christian Gray, who's an outside corner who could be used for depth. You have Jeremiah Love, Running back, I don't think we'll take Jeremiah Love, but there's another one behind him, which is interesting. Is Jadarian Price, 6 feet, 225 pounds. He's one of the best backs in the country, and he's a backup. So you have him that you can consider. You got the receivers in Malachi Fields and Jordan Faison that you can consider as well. Who else? Let me see. Let me take a look at my list. There's like this.
And don't forget they are still doing work too on next year.
Right.
So it's not
Aiden
just 2026.
Aiden Schuler is another one, and then you just talked about it before. Leonard Moore is the best defensive. He might be the best DB overall in the country. And Leonard Moore he's a true sophomore this year. They love Notre Dame players. Charles Josiah, who's I think one of the best guards. He's just not playing because of health. But they've gone to 3 games. I doubt they went to a Notre Dame Boston College game because they love Boston College players. I can't see it. They love Notre Dame for some reason. There's players there either for this year, next year, or maybe even 2028 that they like. So Bills fans, I'm just giving you a warning, man. This whole receiver crowd stuff, we'll see what happens. But
and if they're styling on Notre Dame, they're crushing on Charles Jugasa, the guard.
Yep.
Like,
because he's 6'6", 330 pounds, but he can get low and he's fast. He's a freak.
They need a guard. They're not going to be able to sign McGovern, Edwards, and Torres.
Yep.
They need a guard.
He can play center too. So if he comes out, don't be shocked because they went to a bunch of Notre games too last year. I'm telling y'all, man, they're telling us what's about to happen. That's why every mock draft I do, it's defensive player, it's edge rusher, it's DT, it's linebacker, it's safety, it's now nickel too, because I think we got to include nickel into the conversation. And guard. They're telling you what the weakness is.
I would be prepared for that. I mean, Bills fans gotta get ready because that's the path. Like we said earlier, man, if you are not imposing your will on the Kansas City Chiefs, if you're trying to beat them at their own game, you're gonna lose because they do it better than anyone else. So,
yep. And if they really were concerned, because if they really were concerned, because this whole about what Bills fans thought they said about getting a receiver, guess what they did the next week? What game did they go to? They went to the Texas Vanderbilt game. After they went to the Texas Vanderbilt game, guess who's on Texas? Anthony Hill Jr. You got Anthony Hill Jr. Vanderbilt's got Eli Stowers, which is it's another conversation that's going to piss off Bills fans, guys. Mm-hmm. Tight end. We're an offense that's predicated off of the usage of tight ends. There's 3 prospects in Kenyon Sadiq. We've already gone to 2. We've already seen him twice. They've gone to Vanderbilt games too. For some reason, they like somebody on Vanderbilt. The only top NFL prospect I can think of is Eli Stowers. They don't be shocked if tight end is a position that they choose. It is what it is.
On day two.
Or if Kenyon Sadiq's right there. I know we may say that we may not need it, and Bills fans will freak out. But let me tell you something.
I can't imagine if they take Sadiq, even though he's good. I can't imagine.
I'm telling you, Kevin. We're an offense that's predicated off the tight ends, and if Dawson Knox goes, who's the perfect replacement for him? Because I don't think there's the perfect replacement for him in terms of H-back ability, best blocking ability, key blocking ability, and can get down the field and run and has a versatile route tree is Sadiq. And it's a deep defensive class, so he may slip. There's options, man, but
you got to just, they're going to pick Cole Bishop's running mate too. Like, it's just got to be like, sure. Are they going to go with a coverage guy though? Like a Kamari Ramsey, a guy that I think is like an elite coverage guy. Like, I think
he can play nickel. He's nickel too. I think he's a better nickel defender than he's a box, but
even better. There you go.
Yeah. Like we want that Teron Johnson replacement. Guess what? You can get Earl Little Jr. from Florida State. They've been to that game. You can get again Jalen Kilgore. I think is a nickel. He's a nickel safety hybrid, right there for you. You can get. There's options. I'm interested. Yeah, you can get that.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's perfect actually to what we want to do.
And then Duke, and then another school that we like again because I talked about the other Carolinas is Duke. Chandler Rivers. I know he plays as a boundary corner. He's a nickel. 5'10", 185 pounds, and he's phenomenal. Really good coverage skills and really good coverage ability. Slide him in the inside. They love Duke players.
And in Oregon, even Oregon has a day 2 safety. So
yep, Dylan Thieneman from who's more of a rangy safety, not more of a box guy, but he's another rangy safety that you can honestly rotate with Bishop, honestly, and it would be fine. It's nothing but defensive players. The key areas, guys, it's defensive players. It's I don't like besides Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, I don't see who else is there.
The only problem with Brown though would be what does he cost in draft capital? That would be the issue of like how much of this draft capital would he take up to eat into these players we're talking about. That's the balance but if Bean delivers this receiver one, that's going to be your weapon. That's going to be your guy. And then everything else is going to be what we talked about.
So far it's Mekhi Lemon. That's the only one. That's the only one that I can see because I don't think Carnell Tate's going to slide unless he suffers an injury. I mean, we'll see what other games they'll do. I don't. I'm looking at this list right now. Like Missouri has Kevin Coleman, but Kevin Coleman is like a third, fourth round guy. What else? LSU has Aaron Anderson. That's their best receiver, but he's 5'8". And let's be honest, these 5'8" receivers are going to slide just because of their size. Oregon's
but they
got
could always default to like a Bama receiver in day two. Like you could always
they also I forgot. Because it was Bama versus South Carolina. Jeremy Bernard could be an option. Maybe Jeremy Bernard, who Kevin, you're gonna love who I'm about to compare him to. He reminds me a lot of he's Jacoby Myers.
Perfect day two pick. I mean, if that's the way that they want to go with it.
Yep. Reminds me a lot of Jacoby. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, a lot of these receivers are day 2, day 3 guys. They're day 2, day 3 guys, and maybe one day 1 guy that they visited so far throughout the 18 games that they visited.
For sure.
So I'm just here as linebacker. Round 1.
Plenty of guys to pick from.
Yeah,
pick your style. I mean, you pick your guy.
What do you want? You want more of an off-ball coverage linebacker? Do you want the freakazoid linebacker? Do you want the hybrid linebacker? What do you want? It's a turkey shoot.
Sonny Styles, Anthony Hill, I'll take it.
Yep, that's first round.
I think Sonny Styles is ridiculous. I would take him all day.
Yeah,
I don't love linebackers usually. I'm usually like, I didn't like Simpson. I didn't like a lot of. I like Campbell, but I didn't like a lot of these guys. But Sonny Styles in the first round, in the late first round, would be game changer.
Which Campbell?
Jack Campbell.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I didn't like Simpson at all in that draft.
Don't give me Lander Barton, man. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I know we like Utah. We went to that Utah BYU game. I understand it. We got a pipeline with Utah. If you're gonna take any player from Utah, take Tao Johnson. Take the safety. I would rather take Tao Johnson, who's more of a box, but again, similar. He's actually very similar to Kobe.
Did you see Red Murdoch jump in the top 100 on some of my projections?
He's going early.
He's going day 2.
He's going. Yeah, he's going early.
Come on,
he's going
day 2.
UB's defense is super good. They played another good game.
They got one of the highest grade. Well, I'm not going to use grades.
They got like 7 pass ratings
allowed. True freshman Kobe Blackwell. There's another corner there that's allowing like a 22 passer rating around him. That's lockdown status. One of the most talented defenses, man, they've ever had the last 2 years. There's a lot of NFL dudes on that roster.
Red Murdoch, yeah. Red Murdoch's better than all of them. He's better than Buffalo Joe. He's better than best think he's better than any linebacker. I think he's going to shoot up boards. He's the number 1 player ever before forced fumbles ever in college football history.
Yeah, broke Khalil Mack's record.
Maybe we double dip there.
I wouldn't mind it. I ain't gonna lie to you. See, well, I'm not gonna listen. You give me.
They only can't because they're paying Bernard. They only can't double dip high picks. You can always double dip on day 3, of course.
That's what I'm saying. You go get. Let's say you get Sonny Styles in the first round, right? Second round, I would go receiver. I would try to snatch one of the receivers up that's going to be available in the second round.
Everyone's going to want Concepcion, right?
Yeah, somebody like that. Round 3, I'm going defensive tackle. I'm getting a big body that I can put in the middle of the field of the formation, and to pair with Deion Walker and the rest of the guys, I've got to get somebody with some size and some athleticism. That's gotta happen. Fourth
like
round,
Overton, like that.
I So he fits, but he doesn't fit at the same time because he's 6'2". They say he's 6'5", he's 6'2", which is fine.
Like, and Jay brought up earlier in the space a guy that he liked that was like 6'1", and I'm like, oh, we don't do that on the defensive line.
Corleone,
Corleone from Cincy, yeah, but he's three, isn't he like 340?
Yeah, he's 340. He's a run defender. He does have a little bit of pass rushing upside, but he's a run defender.
Yeah, he's a bowling ball like Caldwell. I mean, like, they're cool players, but they're just. Once we did what we did with Puna Ford, I said never again. There's no point.
There's no point. Caleb Banks.
Yeah, and that's that. Kevin, that is their ideal defensive tackle. That's their ideal. And if he's and I don't know if they're willing to take him in the second because of the foot injury, but if he's there in the third or fourth, if he starts to slip because he's an older guy, he's going to be 25 this year. If he starts to slip and he's third, fourth,
the Bills will take him in the third for sure.
I'll take him
for sure.
Christian Miller.
I would. That's first round. That's a dream. And if he falls to the second, if we take him, then we better take someone phenomenal in the first round. If we take Christian in the second round, that will make the draft for me personally. Not saying he's Jalen Carter. That's the closest thing you'll get. That's high floor Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, the ceiling with him was that he has exceptional athletic ability, but the closest thing you'll see to it, I'm telling you, it's Miller. That's what Kirby Smart said it. Glenn Schumann, who's a DC, he said the same things. Like, bro, he's not as athletic as Jalen, but he's the closest thing you'll see to Jalen. He plays everywhere. One tech, three tech, 2-eye.
Think of all the D linemen though. Someone could slide though. Obviously, you have like Parker and Bain and like Cassius Howell. You have David Bailey. You have a bunch of guys that could be in that. Caden McDonald. You have a bunch of guys. Peter Woods. You have a bunch of guys in that range. Like someone could be there at the end of the first though.
I think it was up to them. I think the perfect player for them is Peter Woods. I think Peter Woods, if they fought him, they would love to have Peter Woods on that team. It's perfect.
Yeah, I got him top 10. So
but yeah, Caleb Banks is another one. He's just that's another one of those guys. I mean, we'll see what his foot injury is like, and it'll be great if he can participate in the Senior Bowl. But we're going defense, guys. We're going defense. It's going to be a defensive class. The question is because they're going to take a receiver. The question is when are they going to take the receiver? Is it going to be early, or are they going to do it in the day 2, day 3 area? And it just depends on it. For some, again, the teams that they've gone to so far that they really like, it's Oregon, it's Clemson, it's South Carolina, it's Notre Dame, and it's Oklahoma. 5 schools where defensive talent outweighs the offensive talent. There's no day one receivers there. They love these schools for some reason, and so. The
only argument you could be making is they've done their research low key so that no one picks up on it. They could really like Mekhi Lemon. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Right. But and they've been to a USC game already. So that's
right. There could be a guy there that they're like, X player is the guy he's the guy we're targeting. We got to stay low key. Like we have to kind of figure out how to get Carnell Tate or whatever it is that they're thinking. Like there might be a guy there that they're like, we got to fly under the radar here.
Yeah, but either way, like all the schools that they've checked out so far, or maybe this is not even counting like non-Power 4 schools, which they probably have, because UB's not on this list. They've gone to UB games. I've went to a couple. I've seen Keith Jennings there. He was there. Like they've gone to UB games. I would love for them to get like a Eric McNeil Warren. I think he's the second, in my opinion. I think he's the second best safety in the class. He is phenomenal as a box safety. But yeah, the options are there, man. I think the key formula in terms of what they believe in is defense. We patched up the pass rush. We may polish it a little bit more by adding in a few more other players to absolutely secure this pass rush. But linebackers getting older. We got to fix linebacker. We got to add more room to the secondary because Dorian Strong, don't know if he's going to play again. I'm confident they'll probably just grab JQ Hardaway from Kentucky. Because they like their Kentucky guys. They got the pipeline there. But they'll add another corner. They'll add another outside corner to the room, probably ensure nickel, maybe get another compliment for safety if they don't believe that Jordan Hancock's ready. But I think this was their goal all along. From what I saw from what we saw from last season to this season, the goal was to make sure this defense was ready to go. And they may add some weapons for Josh, but
don't forget how much they love the Senior Bowl too. Like they love it. So
they're gonna go to that game.
You got a ton of players there that will end up shooting up. They love that. They will draft from the Senior Bowl. That's gonna happen.
I'm looking out for Malachi Lawrence. Malachi Lawrence is a projected day 3 guy. That dude's gonna go top 50. He will skyrocket. 6'4", 265 with 35 plus inch arms and bend. This guy has twitchiness, athletic ability, bend, whatever you want. He's got a advanced pass rushing plan. He's battled injuries, but he's healthy this year and he's doing extremely well. That's a Senior Bowl guy that's going to dominate, and he will be on a lot of dudes' boards. So it's a lot of freakish, athletic hybrid edge rushers. Like, it's crazy. Hybrid, it's edge linebacker hybrids, which we're looking. I mean, Michael Hoyt's probably not going to get back until late September, October. Why not get another one? Why not get another one if you don't believe that Javon Solomon can play it?
Sounds like a plan. All right, fellas. I'm gonna wrap it up now, man. This is the longest we've ever gone. I am spent. But I do appreciate you guys coming in here, and sharing your knowledge. Like, I I am extremely happy you guys are part of the circle that that I have on this app as far as Bills fans are concerned. Um, I'm grateful because I know I'm not crazy because the stuff that I see, you guys see as well. And I learn from you guys every day. I learn from you guys all the time. So I appreciate you guys coming in and blessing the pod, man. And we'll do this again next week. Hopefully we get a W against the Buccaneers on Sunday and we kind of, wash away this bad juju that's been working on us over the last, I guess month or so. We haven't looked great outside of like the Kansas City game. Well, actually, we have looked great. We look great against Carolina. We look great against the Chiefs. It's just, it's got to click for Josh. I hope it starts to click, and I hope it stays clicked in, so that we don't have to go through this again. Because this is annoying. It is annoying to lose the team we are marketably better than. So, that being said, once again, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Jared. Beyond had to step out earlier, and thank you guys for coming through. Thank you guys for sticking with us as long as you have, and we'll do this again next week. We'll start at 9 next time. I'll make sure that I put this thing together and make sure it's ready to go on time. And as always, man, go Bills. Good night, everybody.